The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Jets did not lose yesterday. The bye week has wrapped up the second half of the season. We'll get underway on Sunday against the Browns. We talk about the latest with the Jets. The deadline is just one day away. Robby Sabo joins us. Let's hit it and get it started.
Breece Hall, he's going to throw the ball. It's caught. Who want to foul with the Jets?
How much worse can it get for Aaron Glenn's Jets team? Can he salvage this season and give us something to be excited about? Every step of the journey, the Jake Asman Show will have you covered, breaking down all the storylines of every game and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you all had a fantastic bye week. The Jets could not lose. So for me, that feels like a win, given the fact we have put up with another miserable season to this point. But there's 9 games to go, which means there's an opportunity for the New York Jets to turn their season around and at least make us feel a lot better about this new regime going forward. For more on that and for more on everything going on with the Jets, we say hello to a guy who normally joins us on Tuesday, but without a game, he's joining us on a Monday morning. Robby Sabo, the co-founder of JetX, JetsXFactor.com, and the co-host of the Underdog podcast with Jet Great, Wayne Corbett, joins us now. Hello, Mr. Sabo.
You don't have to lie to the people. Just tell them that you like me more than Joe B, that you bumped him.
I'll tell you what.
It's okay.
You guys have very similar personalities.
Get the fuck out of here. Dude, you know what's funny? If me and Joe were to ever hang out and watch a game, I bet it would be shockingly similar. So shockingly that people would lose their minds. But saying that on its face doesn't feel quite right, I got to say.
I'll tell you what does feel right. So the Jets picked up their first win of the season last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. And that came days after I made a bet with Black Gypsy that the New York Jets are going to win at least one game. I said, Black Gypsy, if they go winless, I will pay you $300. But if the Jets win at least one game, you have to gift the community 20 channel memberships. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gypsy is a man of his word. Before the show started today, Black Gypsy just gifted the community a 20 spot of membership.
Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets!
Bang! Thank you so much, Black Gypsy. You're a man of your word, and we will put you in our raffle for 21 because I see he gifted another membership as well. Robby, the Jets picked up.
Mike's not working.
No, Mike's on. You sound
Okay.
right.
I thought it was the computer audio. Okay, go for it.
Here were some of my thoughts watching all the other teams yesterday. I want to start with some Jet angles here. Watching the Bengals defense up close again for the second straight week because that was the craziest game.
Did you throw up on the floor?
That is the worst defense that has ever been assembled. So we're all happy that the Jets put up 39 points and we're excited. I got to see the Jets look like a real competent offense again against a really good Browns defense on Sunday because, man, the Bengals defense is so freaking bad watching that again. I mean, they became, I think, the first team in NFL history to score that many points in consecutive weeks and not have a win. I mean, just unbelievable what we watched in that Chicago-Cincinnati game yesterday.
Yeah, we have to. I've said it a bunch of times. We have to live in reality. And I'm not trying to be a downer when I said this on your show last week, but the difference for why Fields and the Jets offense worked last week, forget Engstrand, forget everything else. The old line didn't magically play better. The difference was Fields having a picnic in the pocket. He didn't have to worry about a damn thing. And when that is the case, and the quarterback's just thrown in the backyard having fun, I don't care who it is. Put Al Bundy in there. He'll have success. It doesn't matter. So they Cleveland's not this case, not the same case. They're not the 85 Bears, but they're an actual NFL defense. And I think it's fair to say Fields and the Jets offense is very still much on the clock.
They got a lot to prove. And that kind of brings us to the second half of the season here. The Jets need to come out on Sunday against Cleveland. And they got to win this game. Like, this to me is a really important game for the Jets. We could say, it's the Jets 1-7, the Browns 2-6. Who cares? But if you're a Jet fan, you know the history of the Jets coming off their bye week. You know the history of the Jets with more time to prepare. We've seen the Jets have these like random wins over the years, and then it really equates to absolutely nothing.
Yes.
They need to show up and show that it wasn't just a fluke over the Cincinnati Bengals. It was a young team, young coaching staff that's finally starting to learn how to win. We're seeing improvements. I get it. You're not going to go out there and over your next 9 games go, 8-1, right? But this is a game that you should win when you're at home. And on FanDuel Sportsbook, our presenting sponsor, the Jets right now are sitting tight as a 1.5-point favorite against the Cleveland Browns. So this to me feels like a game that the New York Jets have to win if they want to try and add some validity to what they did against the Bengals last week.
Right. I'm still waiting for that, the Chris Herndon end of season breakout. Never quite happened. But listen, it's about the coaching, and we're going to get into it too. Last night, Twitter was ablaze with Sam Darnold regret. My people, my good people, I love you. But, I don't care if Darnold was here for 75 years and he never aged. He wouldn't have done anything with this pattern of Jets coaching. It's not a coincidence. He goes to Carolina. He's still a hot mess. He goes to rehab in San Francisco with Shanahan. Okay. Learns a little bit. Goes to O'Connell, the OC play calling school in the modern era. Learns a lot. And now he's playing really well for a quarterback. That is the thing that we need to have most regret about. What the Jets are doing in terms of vision with their coaching. Would you want Darnold back, this 2025 Sam Darnold version? Of course. But it wouldn't have mattered if they went with these coaches, this vision, defense, tough, not exploring the nuance of the advantages that offense and strategy gives you. I think that's the biggest thing.
I'm right there with you. And look, I'm happy for Sam. I'm also not going to, I'm also not going to sit here and be that devastated that here we are in 2025 and we're relitigating the Sam Darnold situation. Ultimately, what the Jets can do is learn from that situation and recognize that, you could pick the right guy and still fail the player if you don't have the right coaching and roster around him. And that's my big thing for the second half of the year. Is this regime going to be here? Are they going to get the quarterback selection right? Do we feel better about the offensive coaches developing that guy? Is Glenn the right head coach to oversee that development? Are they actually going to go out there and win some games? Because that to me is the first barometer of improvement, winning football games. Nobody cares if you play tight games and lose. Look at the last week of discourse around the Jets. It's been focused on accentuating positives because they won and not talking about how bad the defense was or some of the other issues that we'd be highlighting because they won. So that to me is the big thing, winning games and feeling better about this staff, because Sam Darnold was the best example. Sometimes you even pick the right player, but you don't know until years later.
Right.
You didn't put that player in the best position to have any chance to succeed in one of the toughest places to play, the New York media market.
Yeah, 100%. And, KOC, O'Connell, who I trust in terms of personnel at the quarterback position the most in the NFL, he chose McCarthy over Darnold. I know salary was involved in certain things, but still, if he felt Darnold was the guy, clear cut over McCarthy, he would have made that move. He would have kept Darnold. He let him go. You said it perfectly. You can't relitigate. It's such an wasted space, waste of time in a lot of cases. The focus has to be on Glenn, has to be on the coaching. It has to be on Glenn's vision and his overall feel for what we're seeing in this game today. And I think it's critical. It is critical to evaluate that above and beyond the wins and losses the rest of the year.
Let's see how they come out, because I think it's a real sign of a well-coached team if the Jets are prepared.
And Cleveland is the perfect opponent to view this. Okay. Will Glenn come into this game and have a game plan that is, whoa, hold your horses, conservative? And you see Fields revert back to that guy who's afraid to make a mistake. You're running it. There's nothing wrong with running it, folks. There's nothing wrong with having an identity to run the ball. But when you do it to a counterproductive level, then you're really getting into an area that just hampers you. You can't run it to your disadvantage in today's league. So Cleveland, conservative, defensive first. Does this opponent make Glenn and the Jets revert back to a conservative game plan? It's going to be fascinating to see.
To me, we have to see a team come out ready to go, because I looked it up. The Jets record over their last 9 seasons.
Oh, dude, I don't even know what this is.
In the game following their bye, would you like to guess the record over the last 9 years, the Jets record?
0-9.
1-8.
Who
and
got
the
it?
one
Who got the
win,
one? Gase?
No, the win was Salah against the Giants in that rainy game where
Oh,
DeVito came in because Tyrod got hurt. It was the worst game I've ever watched.
I don't even know if
personally.
you could count that as a win in the annals of Jets history.
That's what I'm talking about here. So that to me is why this game is so important, because it's another opportunity for a coaching staff to say, hey, we're going to be different. We're actually going to be prepared after the bye. We had time to prepare, and it's going to look like it when we come out of the bye. And honestly, this is not just a recent problem for the Jets. Since 2000, the New York Jets record after their bye week. This is dating back 25 years, Robbie.
Got
The
Herm,
Jets,
Mangini, Rex.
they were all bad. The Jets record after their bye is 9-16 since the year 2000. So even when the Jets were going to the playoffs routinely in the 2000s, 6 times from 2000 or 6 times from 98 to 2010, like the Jets were still awful after their byes.
It's amazing. And, there's other patterns too. You throw guys like Herm in there, Rex, time, and I'm not trying to dump on Rex, but time management stuff. And it just feels like the overall pattern of head coach under this ownership remains the same. No matter how the sport changes, it just remains the same. He favors the defensive, rah-rah, emotional type guy who may or may not be great, have that innate skill to make decisions in the time, in the real game, in nut crunching time. So, when you read people who didn't experience it, the young kids out there, the Jets from 2000 to 2010, it reads like fan fiction how many times they made the playoffs.
It's unbelievable. All right. We'll get back to the Browns matchup coming up. Let me remind people that we are doing a weekly raffle on our second show. Actually, breaking news, only one show tomorrow. I forgot. I'm filling in for Bart Scott. I'm doing some radio on ESPN New York tomorrow. So you could hear me from 10 to 1. Chris Carlin and I will be live talking Jets, Giants, Knicks, baseball offseason, everything going on there. So we'll do the raffle with Joe Blewett on our second show, aka our only show, tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you enter for your chance to win a signed Nick Mangold football, signed Wayne Corbett football, and a signed Justin Fields jersey. Today at the end of the show, let's raffle away a jersey for one lucky Asmaniac. Broadway Joe Namath, Joe Klecko, Curtis, my favorite Martin, Wayne Corbett, Darrell Rivas, and the late, great Nick Mangold. Those are your options. Make sure you enter the raffle for your chance to win a jersey and the 3 signed items during tomorrow's show. Let's get to the super chat here from Mickey, who says, if Glenn loses to Dylan Gabriel after the bye week, there's nothing he could do to redeem himself in my eyes. It'd be a devastating loss. You haven't won at home yet. You're playing a team that has the worst quarterback. Like, this is a game the Jets need to win to prove they're serious. Here's the other thing, too. Are we sure it's definitively Dylan Gabriel? Could they start Shedeur Sanders in this game on Sunday?
It's a good question. I don't know. And does it change drastically in terms of game planning with Wilkes in the defense? Not really. It may be more of an energy thing for the opposition. I don't know. I don't know. What's the latest on that in terms of the starting quarterback?
There hasn't been any sort of announcement yet, because Cleveland's also coming in off their bye too.
Everything we've seen from Stefanski and heard from Stefanski, I get the impression he doesn't want to play Shedeur. He just doesn't want to play him. He doesn't think he's at the same level as Gabriel and others, Flacco before him. That doesn't mean he won't play. That doesn't mean he can't play. It just means, I think, from Stefanski's point of view, he doesn't want to play him. So I would assume if I'm Wilkes and Glenn, I'm game planning for Gabriel right now.
Yeah, to me, whether it's Shedeur or it's Gabriel, win the game, man. Go out there and win the dang game.
It's going to be interesting. This defense, this Browns team is similar to the Jets in a lot of ways. Not completely. It's not a one-to-one comparison, but you could fall into the trap of playing the conservative play style that really gets you into trouble. And it's such a it's such a bait on a fishing line because you feel like, especially when you're a defensive mind, you feel like if I could just do this, trust my defense, we could eke out a win 10-9 and get out of here. While that might be true, it doesn't allow for progress, development for certain players in certain positions. So again, just avoid that trap, Aaron. That's the only thing I'm asking right now. And we'll see it right away with Justin Fields. We'll see his mentality. We'll see his confidence. Is it carrying over from Cincy or not? That's going to be the big question.
100%. Spencer Green says, lock it in, Jake. Lakers money line and whoever plays the Knicks. Spencer, you are a douche. Knicks won last night.
Yeah,
Knicks
finally look. You know, it's funny. It looked like last year's Knicks. Shorter bench. Hart playing with the starters, not forcing Cat at the 4. It was a good win.
Spencer says, bet whoever plays the Knicks on the money line. Yeah, you're going to take the Washington Wizards tonight, Spencer? Great comment. Genius. Big fellow with a super chat. He says, Sam would still be seeing ghosts if he was still here. Robbie's exactly right. LFG, we're only 2 out of the wild card. Don't trade Jermaine Johnson. We're going to talk trade deadline here in a moment because I don't think Jermaine's going to be traded because there was a deal that happened this morning that I'll expand on in a moment. But I agree with Robbie. I agree with you, big fella. Darnold was failed by the lack of talent. Darnold was failed by poor coaching. And ultimately, he needed to go to Shanahan and then Kevin O'Connell to turn into the player that he now is. It just shows you coaching is everything. Now, some guys could overcome anything if they're like Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. But I'll give you a guy who I think would have sucked with the Jets if they took him. Josh Allen. I don't think he ever would have had a chance to be the player he became if the Jets picked him instead of Sam, because I think Josh Allen's a guy that needed real development. Sam was better than Allen their rookie seasons. Go look it up. He was the better quarterback.
Yeah, that draft class, I've said it on the show. Baker Mayfield stepped on my face and destroyed me. I did not think he'd be what he is today in the NFL. I had it ranked Sam 1, Josh Allen 2. I was high on Josh Allen. I'll say that to redeem myself a little bit. And I think it was Mayfield, Rosen, but whatever it was. Imagine, here's a perfect example. I forgot who said it. Someone on Twitter responded. Imagine Bo Nix was drafted by the Jets. How do we think he'd be right now? What would Bo Nix be on the Jets without Sean Payton?
I mean, I'd imagine Bo Nix would struggle. He'd look like Zach Wilson.
I would agree. Because Bo Nix, when you really watch him and you watch his tape, he there's a lot missing still. Like, he is far from a complete player. There's a lot missing. He kind of let the Jets hang in that game in London this year, and Sean Payton is doing wizardry with Bo Nix in that team right now.
Amy says Josh Allen is a terrible quarterback. All right, Amy, I respect you tuning in. I really do. But unfortunately, we got to take matters into our own hands. We have to hold people accountable around here.
You dirt-eating piece of slime! You scum-sucking pig! You son of a motherless goat!
Come on. Josh Allen is a great quarterback. Not good, great.
Yes. Yeah, he's a great quarterback. He's not your classical great quarterback, but he's a great quarterback today, 100%.
Yep. All right. There was a deal in the NFL today, Robbie, that I think directly impacts the New York Jets. The Eagles acquired Jalen Phillips, their pass rusher, down in Miami. Mm-hmm. So because of this deal, I don't think Jermaine Johnson is now going to be traded, because one of the teams that reportedly was interested in acquiring Jermaine Johnson was the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles instead make a deal with Miami. They trade away a 2026 third-round pick to the Dolphins to make this trade. And I think that bodes well for every Jet fan out there who does not want to see the New York Jets wheel and deal Jermaine ahead of the deadline, which is 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Your thoughts?
Agreed. And, that return third round, not bad. I mean,
they had 2 third-round picks because Howie Roseman robbed Joe Douglas in the Hassan Reddick deal.
Oh my God, Hassan Reddick. Very, very few names when I hear them. Give me Ajita, as Joe B would say. That's one of them, Hassan Reddick. Listen, Jermaine, I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think when coaches say stuff, especially guys who are so emphatic and they're so stubborn and they puff up like Glenn, tend to believe him. I think looking for conspiracy and shady stuff with guys like that, I think is the wrong tack to take. And throughout this whole process, since he got the job, Glenn has said we want to keep our players. He's called them, he's talked to them, Brees. We want to keep our players. So I'm going to continue to believe him on that front. And I don't expect any of these, quote unquote star guys to be traded.
I don't think the Jets are going to make, these crazy splash star player deals. And when I say that, we're really talking about two guys at this point. We're talking about Brees and Quinnen Williams, who are getting apparently, the most calls on those players, the Jets are. So I don't think they're going to trade Quinnen now. I think it's an offseason conversation depending on, what happens with his contract situation. But Brees, if I'm only getting a
Uh-oh, you broke up there.
Hold on.
Na, 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye.
Check. You got me?
Na, 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 na.
You hear me?
Na, na. Yes.
Okay. I'm
What's
having
that?
audio issues today. I was telling Robby about this off there. Sorry about that, everyone. Unless I'm getting at least a third round pick or higher, I'm not trading Brees Hall. And Quinnen, I would only deal if I got a 1 right now, and that's not happening at the trade deadline.
Yeah. It's not lining up. Sometimes the stars line up correctly. Sometimes they don't. And sometimes with certain players, you have to move on. I'm getting random here, but sometimes with certain players, you have to move on, even if the stars aren't aligned, AKA Elijah Moore in 2022. They should have booted him the moment he said anything publicly after that Packers win. But here in this case, there are some intriguing options in terms of shipping him off for extra capital. I just don't think it lines up. Brees plays the wrong position for that to be the case. And Quinnen, everyone knows his talent. Everyone understands. But like you said, that is a max potential trade that works better much in the offseason.
I don't think you could justify trading Brees if the return is a 4th or a 5th. And think about it. It's a contending team that'd be trading you those picks. So those picks would be later in the round anyway. I can't justify it. This team needs Brees Hall to help function and be able to try and win games and develop winning habits and show this improvement we're talking about. You trade Brees, I like Isaiah Davis, but is he ready to be a number 1 running back? And then you have Khalil Herbert is the number 2 back at that point. I don't think it makes sense.
True, I agree. And there's also something to be said for, being a part. This is going to be tough to explain, but being a part of the community, quote unquote. In other words, how do MLB owners and how do MLB fans view the Pirates, the terrible teams who are constantly selling off their players? They view them as a joke, as a laughingstock. And with the Jets and football, it's a hard salary cap league. It's completely different. There are cases where you have to sell. But if you go too far and you take anything, whatever it is, like the mindset, it's better to get something rather than nothing. If you go down that route, other teams will just respect you less and less. And you don't want that. There's something to be said for the respect factor in terms of standing your ground in trade negotiations if the return isn't worthwhile. So it's never about, trying to get something for nothing. If you refuse to trade Brees because all you're getting is a 5th round pick, what you're getting out of that is a little bit of respect. So I think the respect factor is something that's widely overlooked at times.
I agree with you. And I think if you're the Jets, if you want to move, Quincy Williams, who is in the last year of his deal, I understand that because you already paid Sherwood. But
Yes.
I'm at a point now when I look at Brees, who's also in the last year of his deal. Robby, I want him here next year. I don't think Brees Hall is going to get a top of the market contract. Go look at what running backs make. I think the Jets would be smart. And I had this extensive conversation with Mike Tannenbaum on our radio show yesterday morning, and he agreed with me. I'd be looking to keep Brees Hall. He can help a young quarterback that you're going to be taking at the top of the draft next year.
Sure. And listen, I'm usually quick to pull the trigger on running backs despite the speech I just spieled. But even if you don't re-sign him, the value that he gives Fields, the O-line, the offense, Angstrand, the rest of the season is immeasurable. Like, we can't just because the playoffs aren't on the horizon and they're not going to do anything in January this year. You can't just wash away the rest of the season. Each game is important in terms of development for Glenn Engster and the offense. So having Brees here is big time. We got to recognize that and say that.
I completely agree with you. There was a comment here from a username named Ken O'Brien. If I'm a college player, why would I come to the Jets? Is it true players are putting a no Jets in the contract? One, that's not true.
Where'd you hear that from?
Yeah, that's probably Jet Facebook, which has, the dumbest set of people on there, but don't get me started.
Mensa.
Fire Woody now. It starts at the top. You can't fire Woody. He owns the team. So this comment is asinine in so many ways. If you're a college player, why would you come to the Jets? Because they drafted you, they pay you, and you don't have rights. That's how it works.
Yeah, dude. It's silly. Like, I don't even know what to say to that. It's, you're not you're not the king of England. You don't get to tour the entire world and decide what you want to do. That's not the way it works.
Yeah, I just don't subscribe to that. If I'm a college player, like, name me the player that forced in recent years, right?
Yeah.
Who said, I'm not going to the team that picked him. It just doesn't happen in the NFL. The last guy to do it was what, Eli? And Eli was only able to do it because his last name is Manning.
And Arch. I think Arch's experience in New Orleans really struck a chord. And he really wanted to be the puppet master because of that. Because, Arch Manning, for those who don't know, and he was before my time, believe it or not, despite the gray hair, before my time, he was damn good. And, back in those days, there was even less you could do at quarterback if your team was that bad. The Aints wearing the paper bags and all that good stuff. So I think that struck a chord with Arch, and rarely does it happen. And almost never does it happen since the post Sam Bradford draft, where they structured everything to be on a scale. Back in the day, you used to have picks that wouldn't happen because they couldn't sign the guy. They couldn't agree. So there used to be a lot more control that these draft prospects had before the Sam Bradford draft. We're in a new world where that's just not the case.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. This one is from Ramo. Appreciate you, Ramo. Any chance we trade for Kyler Murray next season, or does this staff draft a QB? I still think Murray is a good quarterback. Here's the problem with Murray. He's paid like a top 10 guy. He hasn't been, and he's always injured. I don't think the Jets are going to trade away premium assets for Kyler, so I'd be shocked. That'd be like a win now move. This regime's going to look at it like, we're going to get our guy. We're picking at the top of the draft in the top 5, wherever they end up. We're going to get our guy. I'd be very surprised if the Jets were even interested in Kyler Murray.
100%. And I personally would not do it, even if it was a win now move. I'm not the biggest fan of Kyler as a quarterback, but no, I don't see that happening.
Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. Reminder for those of you who tuned in late, we have an awesome jersey raffle at the end of the show today. It's a Nick Mangold jersey or a Darrelle Revis jersey or a Wayne Corbett jersey or a Curtis Martin jersey or a Joe Klecko jersey. And last but certainly not least, a Broadway Joe Namath jersey. To enter, you got to gift the channel membership to the community or send in a $10 super chat or higher if you're watching on your phone. What do you want to see from the Jets in the second half of the season? Post-bye week improvements. Final 9 games of the year. What do you Jet fans want to see? Reminder, today is your last day to join my Patreon to get the list of get your name added to the list of names that plays in our intro. We update it at the start of every month, so we'll give people till the end of today. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show to join. Big thank you to everyone who supports on Patreon, including JJ, Craig, Dan, and William, our most recent Patreon subscribers. Omari says, it's Omari, Jake. Name just flipped. Omari, thank you for spending $2 to let us know who you be. I appreciate you, my man. Let's see. Lou B says, go Jets. If we beat Cleveland, I'm going to the Pats game. Lou is such a crazy Jet fan that 2 straight wins over bad football teams, and he is back, baby. He's taking the trip on 95 all the way to Foxborough.
Hey, man, if Lou's that missing link, what Glenn and the Jets needed, we got to put the pressure on him. He's going to have to get to every game.
Mr. Bonesy says, I want to see Brady Cook. I think we're going to get Brady Cook at some point because I'm not expecting Justin Fields to all of a sudden just have it. Like, I think we'll get to a point late in the year where rather than going back to Tyrod, they'll give Brady Cook a starter too.
Listen, you guys heard me on the show in August. I was stunned. I looked at Brady Cook as a joke in the spring. for better or worse, he couldn't complete a pass. The weight of the world seemed to be on his shoulders. I was like, at one point I was turning around. What is this guy doing here? Like, he should not be here. So I'm a huge fan of Brady Cook because the improvement, it was drastic. It was noticeable. He was doing exactly what the coaches wanted him to do. And I said that, and I told you guys in August, and so much so that I would have kept him on the active roster, and I would have kept 3 quarterbacks because of the injuries, Tyrod always being hurt and Fields having the potential. So listen, long story short, I want to see Brady Cook, but now's not the time. Maybe at some point down the road, sure, let's get him a start and see what he could do with a week of preparation. But no, not right now. No chance.
Open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. Right now, there's no one on hold, so it's your opportunity to get right on the show when we start taking some calls. This one is from Joseph, who says, I want to see Fields not get killed this weekend because it's a terrible matchup for our offense. Look, if you're a well-coached team, your quarterback should be able to complete a pass. You shouldn't be pathetic. You should be able to score an offensive touchdown. So if Fields goes right back to what he's been, it's an indictment on the coaching staff, because as bad as Fields was during that stretch where they weren't scoring touchdowns, guess what? He had never been that bad at any point in his career. So that's an indictment on the coaching staff.
Yes, it completely. And when you're game planning offensively, Engstrand and Glenn this week, and I always throw Glenn into the mix because it is so critical. He is a part of the offensive game planning. They don't wash that away.
He said it himself. Remember, I'm a head coach. I'm not a defensive coach.
Even if he didn't say it. Even if he said Engstrand is the guy and he has full reign, nonsense. You set the game plan for that week, and everything that you say and everything that you set puts a cap or a limit or no limit on what Engstrand and the offense can do. Period. It starts there. So when you look at this Browns defense, how are they going to play it? You got to look at the tape and figure, okay, this is what they're going to do. This is what they're going to see based on Cincinnati, based on the week prior. And my best bet is they're going to, step on the gas. They're going to put the pressure on and dare Fields and the Jets to beat them over the top. That's my hunch early. How do you handle that? What do you do? How do you script the first 2 series? That is where I would start if I was Engstrand and Glenn.
Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. Let's get to some of your calls now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. First up today is a man who paid off his bet. Black Gypsy starts us off. Mr. Gypsy, you're a man of your word.
Jay, check it out.
Yeah, what does Gypsy not have an intro music yet?
Hey, you got the shirt. It arrived. Let's go.
Nice.
So, if we could just complete a pass, that would be awesome. So I was thinking about this, right? I said it to Nick Shine too. So, what's the name? Garrett comes back this week to play. And if Garrett's always Fields' first read, how about we change that up, right? Because
they have forced I don't want to cut you off, but they have forced a lot of reads, a lot of primaries to Garrett this year, which really hurt them predictability wise.
So my girl was watching the game. Now my girl knows nothing about football. I've been teaching her football, right? And she said this to me, and I was like, that's a really good thought process. How about we change it up to make Arian Smith the first read and then make Wilson the second read? Because he's going to go to Wilson anyway. And have Arian go on comebacks and go routes. As just let him free, let him do just that on that one side of the field, and then have as a second read to be Wilson, because he's going to go to Wilson anyway, or Mason. That changes up that underneath play, because we play underneath a lot. We don't throw the ball down the field.
It's because it's timing. It's a timing deal, and it caps your, it puts a limit on your ceiling. If you're going to be timing and 3-step and decrease the quarterback's reads, which I think is the right call. It's the right vision for this type of quarterback, 100%. You got to understand when defenses sit on it, and I swear to God, DBs sit on the Jets' routes harder than I've ever seen any offense in NFL history. When that happens, you better have a plan, and they have not had a plan to combat it.
Do you think that would be a good plan, though, to have Smith as the number one?
I think not in an absolute way. Like, it can't be absolute, but should you change those 2 positions up and do something that hasn't been on tape where Garrett is not the primary on certain concepts, yes. It falls in line with the thought pattern that, yes, you got to have a different plan. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to double team Garrett, and then you're going to get one-on-ones with Smith. And if they're biting down on the defense, which every defense does against us, they flood the line basically. Like, he should be able to get open. He's one of the fastest guys out there. Like, and a one-on-one, throw it to him, see what happens.
Yeah, listen, the Browns play a lot of man. They have talent. We all know Schwartz. So what are your man beaters gonna be? And the thing with the design concept, the 3-step, try to design scheme a guy open deal is it's tougher. It's, in my opinion, it's tougher against man. It's tougher when you have a quarterback like Fields because he wants to see the guy open before throwing it. Zone, he does it a lot better. So what do you do? I think, a lot of mesh, a lot of high-low, a lot of play action. You got to get the run game going. They got to run the ball. They're going to have to run the ball for sure. That's first and foremost.
I think it's going to be a shit show of a game. Like, I don't know who's going to win. I can't call this game because it's just two horrible teams playing each other. But one team definitely has the upper hand on defense. Cleveland's defense is a lot better than our defense is.
Yeah.
So, like,
we
might
got a coaching
be
advantage too, until proven otherwise. Kevin Stefanski is a 2-time coach of the year. Aaron Glenn has 1 career win.
So I was thinking about that because you said you wanted Stefanski as a coach. I don't want Stefanski as a coach. Think of how many quarterbacks he's had. Think of how many quarterbacks he's had. That's now, like, look at Baker. Like, look at the players that he's had, and look at the records that they've had. Like, and they've had a solid defense. Yeah, but they've had a solid defense for years, and all those quarterbacks just come in a carousel, and they just keep on losing. I wouldn't. The coach I want, and I've wanted him for years. I want McCarthy. McCarthy is proven. McCarthy is a winning coach. Like, he builds a team. He's been on 2 teams that are solid. Like, all the other coaches that we keep on bringing in, they're like, oh, maybe we could do this. We could do that. And McCarthy, and because I don't trust Glenn. I know everybody's like 1 win. You saw what happened yesterday. Cincinnati, like, the tackling is so bad that, like, we can't count that game. We can't count that game again.
Do you see the Loveland game winner? My goodness gracious. That was awful.
It's like 8 tackles missed. Like, I don't. It's going to be an interesting game to watch. Like, there's so much that we need to do on defense that I don't see us doing. Like, Wilkes has gotten better in how he disguises the play calls, and it's a lot less man, a little more zone. Like, so maybe against a shitty offense like Cleveland, Gabriel is horrible. So maybe we could do something. The thing I was laughing about, because I was watching all the sportscasters on podcasts talk about Gabriel or Shador, who is better, and why doesn't Stefanski want to play Shador? Like, with our Jets' luck, because our team is a team that every team comes into our stadium, especially our stadium, to set records and have, like, this magnificent things happen. If Shador starts against us and plays great against us, that would just be like a Jet thing to happen.
Hey, listen, it's this Jets defense. I said it before the Cincy game. I'm not going to trust them until I see them do it against a good quarterback, a competent quarterback. Bryce Young was not that. Bo Nix wasn't that in London. And, I'm not trying to take credit away from them. They did good things. Wilkes is starting to mix it up a lot more, trying to play the pre-snap game. But we saw what happened last week with Flacco. Now, Cleveland, I think game planning, offense, defense, the strategy is important, yes. But I think a big thing that you have to dive into is you look at Cleveland. Who are they? Good defensive team, but why? I think a lot of it is aided by how poor their offense is because the game flow is conservative naturally. So what do you do if you're Glenn? Fields, what are his positives? He can run the ball. If I'm anchoring a Glenn, I'm thinking, and if my personnel could handle this, I'm thinking about going up tempo, trying to get the game flow fast off the start, trying to push the game into an increased hectic, chaotic mode right away, right off the jump. Doesn't have to last the whole game, but go no huddle, go spread, run zone read, spread them out as much as you can to see how they react and let Fields work the in between the tackles game with Brees and Isaiah and see what happens.
It's going to be a hard game for that offensive line. A lot of chipping, a lot of double teaming needs to happen to Garrett to slow them down.
But that's why if you spread it out and you get the tight end out and you get Brees out on the edge at receiver, you kind of put Cleveland into a no-win situation. They haven't seen it on tape. They don't know how to handle it. How do they adjust to that? And how they adjust to that will give you a lot of information for the rest of the game, and it'll put them on their heels. If I'm Glenn, I'm thinking about game flow, and I'm thinking about trying to stun them initially to try to get them into a situation where the game doesn't feel familiar. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's why I said what my girl said makes sense. If Arian Smith is the person that they go deep for, and let's say he catches the ball on a comeback where he gets separation on man, let's just say, right? And then the next play that you run with him out of the same formation is him going deep on a go, like that defense is going to back off. They have to, because now you're showing something you never showed before in throwing the ball deep to a fast guy that we have on our team.
Yeah, to get that done, you got to make sure Fields isn't looking at the pass rush and Myles Garrett isn't in his ear.
If it is
that's the
Fields,
most
Aaron
important
Glenn
thing.
hasn't said a little quarterback mystery.
Oh, it's true. That's true. That's
I
true.
wouldn't,
So
I wouldn't mind seeing Cook start, but I want to see if I want to prove it to myself that Fields sucks, because I've said Fields sucks forever. I want to see what he does against a good defense this weekend, so I can just check it off and be like, all right, I love you as a character. You're an awesome guy, but you suck as a quarterback. Let's move on to the next guy.
I don't see Fields is a guy where I don't know if you could ever get to that finality, if that makes sense. It can never get there because he'll shock you and stun you with his athleticism. Like if Glenn and Engstrand do what I just spouted out as an idea, go spread, go up tempo, even no huddle, 2x2 or 3x1, and really get the splits out wide near the sideline to open up room on the inside, and go zone read and give Brees and Isaiah work in between the tackles, and it works. And Fields in open space, kind of stuns you and drops your jaw. No matter how bad he is classically in the pocket, it's going to be tough to get to that finality that he can never be a guy. You know what I mean?
This is my nail in the coffin game. Either he's a starter after this game or he's a backup. That's how I'm looking at it, because that's what I had for last game. Last game, I was like, if he plays good, then we keep him starting. If he doesn't, then he's a backup for life. So, and something that you said is awesome. Sean Payton is a god. Sean Payton makes Bo Nix look like he's Tom Brady. Like he the scheme, man. Scheme matters so much. So let's see if Angstrand is worth the paper.
Psychology too. Psychology. The mindset. It's such an unspoken thing about developing quarterbacks. How do you get these guys in the right mindset, the right frame of mind, confident? The moment you do anything to make your quarterback overthink things is a step back, major step back. So scheme, you're right, Black Gypsy, hugely important strategy, but it's also you gotta be Dr. Phil, Jennifer Melfi. You gotta be the right quarterback personality to develop a guy.
Hey, Black Gypsy, you're a man of your word. The New York Jets have a win, baby. They might not have many more, but they have at least one.
I will take it. Like, we're watching the game, and I was so happy that we won the game. Because, like, when it came down to that last drive, like, we've seen it so many times that we blow it. And when we actually stepped up, like, when you get the tingles in your shoulders, you're like, wow, that feels amazing. Because I forgot what that feels like as a Jet fan. Like, tingles in a game where it's close and we could actually win. Like, that was awesome. So let's see if we could do it another week in a row, because I'm still on my same book. I still want Glenn. I still want Wilkes fired at the end of the season. If they played like they played the first 8 games of the season, I don't want to see that next year.
A lot of football left. 9 games to go, baby. But until then, who want to fly with the Jets?
Who want to fly with them Jets?
Black Gypsy, man of his word, he said he'll gift 20 memberships to the community if the Jets won a game. And it took exactly 4 days after that for them to win a game, which is amazing.
And God bless the Jet fan who actually felt good about the Jets winning once Joe Flacco got the ball back on that last drive.
I know
God
I didn't.
Bless him.
I know I didn't.
God bless them. Those 7 people on this earth who thought that.
Larry says, I still want Glenn and I want Fields.
Who doesn't want Glenn?
We all want them to be successful. If you still want Fields, though, if you're convinced Fields is the guy and they shouldn't draft a quarterback, Larry, I think you're insane. If you still believe in Aaron Glenn, go for it, man. He's in his first year and we got to see real improvement the next 9 games. But like that win is a reminder on why so many of us wanted to root for Aaron Glenn and believe in Aaron Glenn. Like, it means a lot to him. He's a Jet, but he's got to win games. That's what it comes down to.
And let's also not underestimate the impact of that clip. The feeling in the locker room. That is listen, even though physicality has gone, decreased and the motivational stuff decreased and gave way to strategy, even though that's true, this game is still an emotional game. That is a big deal, feeling that good after a win. So if they come out flat and look just like their normal selves again this week, that's a very troubling sign.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Logerato, 20 memberships, getting himself in the raffle on tomorrow's show. 20, hit it, beast.
Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets!
Bang! Anthony Logerato with 20 memberships. Hold on, Robbie.
Yo.
Let's stop what we're doing because it's officially reigning channel memberships. Make sure you get in the raffle, which is tomorrow, for your chance to win a field signed jersey, a Corvette signed football, and our top prize to paying homage to the great Nick Mangold, a signed Nick Mangold football. It's raining. Channel memberships, 20 people getting memberships. If you hear your name, make sure you thank Anthony for gifting you one. Ant Bank, Stray Day, Rick, GTA V-Man, Stack Timing, ISU, Idaho Jets, Bang Mateo Sucks, The P-Word Assassin, Anderson Simpson, Viante, David A., Joe Rano, PG, Aaron Glenn, win back-to-back games, please. Trey Day to Jet Fan, O'Shea Barton, the GA to AG, Doan Syndrome, Stephen T., South Ass, all receiving a membership there from the great Anthony Logerato. Boom. Appreciate you, Anthony. Thank you for your tremendous support of the community here. Some super chats, then we'll get back to more of your calls. This one's from Hollywood Rio, who says, how do you feel about Arch Manning if he decides to enter the draft? Look, he's playing a lot better, certainly. I don't think he's coming back to I don't think he's going to enter the draft, but like any other prospect, you evaluate him and you see where you would have him. But I think he's going to stay in school for another year.
Yes, I agree with you. But if he comes out, you see, I think the smart front offices think of it as a intriguing opportunity in which, he's not the undoubted number one guy everyone thought he was going to be. And the fact that that has happened, that's an intriguing opportunity in my mind, because I still am very, very high on him.
JJ says, I would never want stubborn Stefanski. Got rid of Baker for Watson. Let's also remember, Deshaun Watson was coming off an amazing run in Houston. I was there covering him. And obviously his career fell apart and all the allegations with the lawsuits. I had to cover that every day. It was nauseating to do day in, day out. But like Stefanski's proven to be, at the bare minimum, a damn good offensive coach. And if you could get him, I mean, you're talking about having a guy that is proven that can develop a quarterback. Like, that's the incentive. As far as, your rationale saying, oh, he's sticking with Gabriel instead of giving Shador a chance. What if Shador's just awful, right? Like, remember, we as Jet fans, how are they not playing Denzel Mims? It makes no sense. Well, the coaches knew he couldn't play, and they got that one right.
Yes.
Sometimes, like, the coaches, they don't play guys because they know. And that's something that we don't know because we're not at practice. We don't know what the relationships are like with Shador and the players, his leadership. Does he process well? Is he all about football? Like, we don't know any of that stuff. You really think Kevin Stefanski, who's on the hot seat, would choose to play a worse quarterback over Shador? Like, if he thought Shador gave him a better chance to win, he'd be playing him.
Right. Listen, there are examples where the coach is stubborn and, he'll go down with the ship or he's stubborn to a fault. But generally speaking, it's not the case. Denzel Mims, perfect example. So, yeah, I just think Stefanski doesn't believe in Shador. It's as simple as that. And in terms of not wanting Stefanski as the head coach, I think it's silly to not have him as a candidate, at least. I mean, what are we talking about here?
He's an offensive guy with experience. He's been to the playoffs twice in Cleveland. Like, that's not
he
nothing.
Has to. If you don't at least have him in the conversation and the what should be a large pile of candidates, what are you doing, dude? Like, come on. You stop with the home run or strikeout mentality. He's got to be in the mix. Same with Kingsbury, even though they're falling on hard times right now. Kubiak, who keeps rising. That's the guy. That's the guy that's really intriguing me. So Stefanski has to be in the mix.
How stupid was Dan Quinn for having Jaden Daniels in a 38-7 game? Come on.
Yeah, Jaden, this was the fear with him, honestly. He's not, listen, when you see him up close, he's not big. When you see him on TV, he's not big. He's a slight fella. And I feel for the Washington fans because, with RG3, they feel like they're going through, the second version of the Matrix, just history repeating itself. But random, how great was that the uniforms last night?
That's why I bet on Seattle.
Oh, and Washington even. I know the logo's not there, but those uniforms are just so good, both Seattle and Washington last night.
Yeah, the uniforms were excellent. You're 100% right. I love those Seattle throwbacks.
So good.
Sean Bennett says, "I've in incognito mode. Glad to witness community is still close." Well, Sean, if you want to come out of incognito mode, feel free. We'd love to have you call in. Yes, the Jet community, the Asmaniac community is still close. We rally around the fact that we all have the common goal of seeing the Jets not be dog shit.
Incognito mode, akin to the digital brown paper bag over the head.
I have one of those just in case. Hopefully I don't need to wear it on Sunday.
I'm sure you have a backup and a backup's backup. I'm sure you got that.
Fiore checks in. Everyone loves a running QB, but look at how often they get hurt. Daniels, Kyler, Fields, Young, etc. Get a guy like Mendoza, who's 6'4" and is mobile enough. No to Sellers and some of these others. I don't want Sellers. He's a guy that I think you have to do a ton of development with. I think he needs to go back to school, quite frankly, for another year, transfer to a better program, and his draft stock will shoot back up. Look, I think ideally you want someone who has the measurables of what the modern quarterback is and athletic ability. There's no perfect prospects. You got to make the best of what's out there. I like Mendoza a lot. We're going to do some film on him with Joe Blewett on the show tomorrow. So we'll talk more about some of these college guys then. But I think, Robbie, in today's NFL, you want a guy that could manipulate the pocket athletically. Maybe he's not like a dynamic runner, but knows how to manipulate their feet in the pocket, step up, knows where pressure is coming from, because that's really what playing quarterback's about. It's about being able to have time, give yourself time to make all the throws.
Yeah, the physical traits, athleticism, speed, agility, fine. It's all good stuff. Release, quick release, very, very important. But it pales in comparison to what is most important. What wins in today's league? Short passing, 3-step. So the quick release is important, but you have to process. The pre-snap, instantaneous to post-snap processing on that 3-step in terms of placement and accuracy, quick release, that is the bread and butter. And that is what you have to look for. When Joe is going over film and you guys are doing your thing, how quick is the release? How well do they process things post-snap and place the ball in the perfect spot? And when I'm talking about perfect spot, there's a lot of nuance there. Like this is what Tom Brady did better than anybody, and it flew well under the radar. Short passes, he dinked and dunked defenses to death, but his accuracy was sniperish. It was absurd. Difference of a couple feet. Instead of right here, he places it right here because that guy's going this way and he leads them. That's the stuff that you really got to look for in a quarterback today. The short passing game, yards per completion has never been lower for the past 5 years in NFL history. That's what's the most important in today's league.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Appreciate you tuned in, Paul. Paul's funny. He's the rare sports fan out there that has the exact 4 teams that I root for. He's an Islander fan. He's a Knicks fan. He's a Jets fan, obviously, and he's a Yankees fan.
The only one growing up, the only one I didn't jive with was Isles, Rangers. Same exact combo except for the Rangers.
Yesterday was a great day for me. The Jets didn't lose, and the Knicks and the Islanders both won. And Matthew Schaefer remains unbelievable.
Dude,
my jersey came in too, by the way. I'll be rocking my Matthew Schaefer jersey next Islander game I go to.
He's a stud. I hate to say it, but he's a stud. And how about that World Series Game 7?
Oh, dude, that was one of the greatest games you'll ever see. One of the greatest World Series we've had. Probably the best World Series we've had since the 2016 Cubs, Guardians, or Indians at the time World Series.
Yeah, and even though there were a lot of strikeouts and home runs impacted the game didn't feel like the usual all or nothing baseball that we're accustomed to, because there were great fielding plays all over the place. There was contact all over the place. It was insane. Pajes, is that how you pronounce it? The center fielder bullying Hernandez, just running him over to grab that ball. That's what sports is all about. Honestly.
No, it's unbelievable. You feel for Blue Jays fans. I put myself in their shoes for a moment. Like if the Jets, let's say, lost the championship in the manner that Toronto did, like I would need to leave society for at least a year.
Psychiatry in northern New Jersey would ask for help. It would be that bad.
Like you would not hear from me if the Jets lost a championship or the Yankee. Any of my teams that lost a championship in the way Toronto did, like that's a lifetime of PTSD. You don't get over that. Like that hurts forever.
Howard Stern, Howard Hughes-esque isolation, I'm sure.
It is brutal. It is brutal. Man.
The only game, honestly, the only game that could compete in recent memory is Game 6, 2011. Rangers, Cardinals. Like, I think that's the only game. Single game.
Yeah, David Freese, right?
Oh my God, that game was ridiculous. Texas, Nolan Ryan, Ron Washington. They were so close so many times, one strike away.
Nuts. All right, more of your calls. Adam is next. Hello, Adam.
Hey, all right. The regular season begins now, I think.
Nice.
Let's throw the first half away. With Cleveland having a very similar kind of team to the Jets with stronger defense, not so great offense. It's going to come down to field position, special teams, and turnovers. And I, for one, believe in a regression to the mean. I think we're going to get some turnovers in the next game. I think that's going to make the difference. It'll be a field position kind of game. And I'm not expecting our team to be able to do 90-yard drives, but they could do a 40-yard drive against any defense, with the right kind of play calling. And maybe that's what's going to take. Who makes fewer mistakes? And you got a rookie quarterback versus, Fields. And Fields doesn't, throw interceptions, although I'm jinxing it saying that. But
listen, I want him to throw interceptions. It sounds crazy, but when we see him throwing interceptions and still playing well through that, I think is the greatest sign that something's happening there.
I want him to arm punt. I hope that's something that they taught him in like the bye week, because on these like third down plays, throw a bomb.
Yeah,
to somebody that can run it, like Arian Smith or
the play
Garrett
has
Wilson,
to be right.
And hope
the
for
play has to be right.
Like he doesn't throw bombs, and he has the time to do it. He's got like 5 seconds to throw in these cases. Like throw the bomb, and see what happens. It's just so who do you think is going to be? Like, I think the Brandon Stevens turnaround has been really impressive in the first half of the year. Who's going to be the second half improvement king of the team?
I hope it's Aaron Glenn.
It's a good question. Yeah,
player, not coach.
Most important, Aaron Glenn. I hope Malachi Moore keeps his trajectory going, and Mason Taylor. I know everyone feels good about Mason Taylor, but he isn't even close to the level he can be. So I think Mason Taylor is a good one to watch out for.
I think Mason Taylor breaks the Jets rookie tight end receiving record.
What is it?
He's on track. 565 or something, and he's at 260.
Was it Keller? Who was it? Has the record?
You have to look it up.
Mickey Schuler?
It could be Mickey, yeah. Caster, Barkham.
I think it was Caster. I saw Adams.
Was it Caster?
So at any rate, I think Mason will do it. And
is it Caster?
No, I forget. It was someone. I think it was someone from this. Believe it or not, I think it's. I don't get them wrong. I don't remember. I'm going to say it's not Langham. Langham wasn't a tight end, right? But it was somebody from that era. It was like from the 60s.
Oh, Lammons,
maybe.
Pete Lammons.
Yeah.
He was on the Super Bowl team. Yep.
That far.
It's 66. So what was that? Name his first year, I think, or 65. I think it was 66. That checks out.
It does check out. I think he could do it, and I think that'd be amazing if he broke the rookie tight end receiving record on a team with this kind of offensive firepower. Like, pretty impressive. So, yeah, that's my hope. And I think the season begins now. This is when we really do need to evaluate Glenn and the team, because the first half was a transition period. Now this is what the team is going to look like if we continue with this regime.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, good stuff. See ya.
Appreciate you, Adam. I mean, look, he said no, you can't pick a coach, but if you were to pick a coach, it's Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, it's Aaron Glenn.
I mean, Aaron Glenn had a bad first half. There's no other way around it. Let's hope that the win was not an outlier win, and he's starting to really find it. And it was just a young staff learning on the go. And there was way more of an adjustment period than maybe any of us could have foreseen. And now they're going to play a lot better. Because I was having this conversation with someone over the weekend that's not a Jet fan. He's like, I don't understand why you guys are so bad. Like, you're not a 1-7 roster. I go, exactly.
Right. And I mentioned it last week. The type of game the Bengals win was. I'm hoping it was a light bulb moment for Glenn, for the staff, and even for Engstrand. It's tough to evaluate Engstrand. I got to be honest. Hayden, I still think Hayden has done a great job, and any O-line hate I think is a little misplaced. But hopefully it's a light bulb moment.
Comments, question, super chats. They cut the line. Let's see. Did I miss a super chat? I don't think I did. I did want to get to this comment from Indy, though. He goes, McCarthy isn't a proven. Come on. He left the Packers a mess, left the Cowboys a mess. He really didn't leave the Cowboys a mess at all. Jerry Jones and him couldn't work out a long-term deal, so he left. The Cowboys, when Dak was healthy, they won at least 12 games. He was there for 5 seasons as their coach. I think they won 12 games or more in 3 of them. And the 2 he didn't. Dak suffered season-ending injuries. So, to me, he's a really good coach, offensive guy. If he can handle dealing with Jerry Jones and being the Cowboys coach, he can make the adjustment to dealing with New York and the media market. He's developed quarterbacks before. He'd be at the top of my list if you want a proven offensive guy, if this continues to be a disastrous season where we're having the one and done talk at the end of the year.
Understand your place in the league. Understand where your team's place in the league is. And once you do that, you come to the realization that you have no right to ask for Tom Landry. None. And those who are going all or nothing and, displacing guys like McCarthy and Stefanski, you're missing the boat. You're not there. You're not there yet. So McCarthy has done a hell of a job in his career. He's won a Super Bowl. People, come on. Of course he's a good coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a really good coach. You're the Jets. You got to get out of hell before you can talk about winning a Super Bowl.
What are we
get back to respectability,
Yeah, what are we talking about? Come on, guys. Of course. And with Glenn, yeah, listen, he's got a whole half a season here. And, everyone wants it to work out. And again, that light bulb moment, that game flow, him winning, maybe since he is the jumping off mark. Maybe they really are. And that light bulb goes off, and I would love it if they come out in this game thinking high tempo, thinking something that they feel Fields and their offense could pull off. And that doesn't mean passing the ball high tempo. It just means a different feel to the start of the game. Maybe you go no huddle, maybe you hurry it up, maybe, but you do it at a gun, you do it at a pistol with a spread look, get more space in the middle and see how Cleveland reacts. That's the chess game and the out of the box thinking that I want to see that fits today's league.
Mr. Sabo, excellent appearance. Appreciate you hopping on a day earlier than normal. Hopefully the next time you're on, we're discussing the Jets being on a winning streak. How about that? 2 consecutive wins.
Hey, let's what does Joe B, the usual guy, say in this spot? From your lips to
your lips to God's ears.
To God's ears. Yes, sir. We'll see.
Hopefully the pain is halted for a little bit, because if they lose to the Browns, oh my God, get ready for 3 days of how bad New England's going to put it on the Jets in that primetime game.
Oh, the pain. I'm Joe B this morning. Oh, the pain.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Sabo, you're the man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Jake.
Robby Sabo, JetsXFactor.com, Underdog Podcast with Wayne Corbett, who was roasting me the other day when I tuned in. I sent in a couple super chats, and the iPhone, for those who super chat, it screws up names. So it messed up Wayne's name. And he's like, Jake doesn't even know how to spell my name. I'm like, no, Wayne. But I digress. Speaking of Wayne Corbett, if you want to sign football by him, you can on the show tomorrow. Also, a signed Nick Mangold football is our top prize. And our Justin Fields signed jersey is prize 3. End of the show today. Let's give someone a chance to win a Jets jersey. You pick the legend that you want the jersey in. Joe Namath, Joe Klecko, Curtis Martin, Wayne Corbett, Darrell Revis, and the late, great Nick Mangold, whose funeral, by the way, will be tomorrow. Mike Tannenbaum told me on radio yesterday, and Mike will obviously be there. So Nick Mangold's funeral is tomorrow. So update on that. Let's see. Hit the like button if you guys are tuned in. We only have 130 likes, which is a terrible number. We could do better than that. I'm going to gift a membership to the community right now because we're light on memberships here. So if you got a membership from me, you are in the raffle tomorrow and, of course, at the end of the show. So keep that in mind. We'll do that coming up. Let's see. Let's get to more of your calls now, shall we? JJ is on the line. Hello, JJ.
Yo, I have a lot to say. I have a lot on my mind. Yo, if Mike McDaniels from Dolphins got fired, would you want him? Or would you consider him?
To be the head coach, or?
Yeah, would you consider him to be the head coach?
I certainly would consider him. I don't think I would want to hire another ex-Dolphins offensive-minded coach.
Okay. The reason I asked that is because I think Mike McDaniels is better than Kevin Stefanski, and I think most people would disagree with me on that. But I mean, Joe Flacco leaves the Browns, and he looks like a better quarterback. Baker Mayfield leaves the Browns, he looks like a better quarterback. I know you're saying
Joe
that,
Flacco's career was revived with Stefanski. They made the playoffs with Flacco playing great.
yeah, and he still looks better with the Bengals.
I mean, he looks the same as he did in Cleveland. He just is throwing to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. They're stacked on offense.
So you're saying the first 3 weeks in Cleveland this year, he looks the same as he does over the last 3 weeks with Cincinnati?
Are you going to even compare like this version of the Browns team to the team a couple of years ago? Like they were like the Browns are a mess right now.
Yeah, and he's in part to be a mess. I mean, they got rid of Kareem Hunt, they got rid of Nick Chubb, they got rid of Amari Cooper, they got rid of.
In terms of Stefanski, right? What does he do better than McDaniel? To your point, like the Browns made the playoffs twice with Kevin Stefanski and won a playoff game one of those years.
Then how many times?
Twice.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Dable was the coach of the year, and he stinks. That doesn't mean much. I'm just saying that
right,
I think Mike
Stefanski did it twice.
Yes.
Cleveland.
Okay. How many times did Dolphins make the playoffs under McDaniels?
Twice, their first 2 years.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So on paper, they both have similar coaching records. I just think McDaniels is better. I think his offense at the
couple
time.
things. It's McDaniel. McDaniels is the New England offensive coordinator.
Sorry, whatever. But I just think that McDaniels is a better offensive coordinator and a better his offense in Miami looked like at one point game changing when Tyreek and Tua and Waddle were all healthy. And when you watch the Cleveland Browns, you've never once thought of their offense as like a game changing type offense. Whereas the stuff
really well, they don't have as much talent as those Dolphins team did.
I mean, at one point they had Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, David Njoku. These are like great players that they had on the team. But all I'm saying is that Kevin Stefanski, I wouldn't consider him to be the head coach if he was to get fired. But that's me. What do I know? JJ's wrong about everything. You guys know more about football than me. I also think that we're going to win this week, but I always think we're going to win every week until proven otherwise. But this is my last chance for Aaron Glenn. If we lose this week, by all means, let's just get rid of him and start talking about who the next replacement is going to be. I think, though, what we really truly need is a true number one receiver. I love Garrett Wilson, but like when you watch like Jackson Smith and Jigma last night, it just there's levels to like top 10 wide receivers, and I think Garrett Wilson is maybe top 15, maybe top 20, but I don't think he's a top 10 receiver, and that's no knock to him. It's just he's a little small, and I think we need like a real big body, true number one receiver. It's amazing that we were able to score 31 points without him on the field. So I think we got a game.
Bengals defense is horrific. That's why.
Yeah, their defense is horrific, but at the end of the day, I mean, Caleb Williams has Rome Odunze, and he didn't even get a single catch yesterday. DJ Moore, they have all these guys in Chicago. They put the same amount of points as we did, and I would assume you would agree that Chicago on paper has the better weapons overall. So the fact that we did it without Garrett Wilson is still an accomplishment, don't you think?
I think that it is definitely like awesome that they were able to be that productive, but I think it has a lot to do with the fact that when you give any quarterback with talent, which Fields has, 3.5 seconds average time to throw, guys are going to be able to separate in the NFL. Like even if you're Josh Reynolds or he didn't even play, even if you're Tyler Johnson or you're Arian Smith or you go down the list of guys that they were throwing to, Isaiah Williams making plays, like I think I got to see it against a real defense this week to start to think that they are being coached up.
If we have the same game plan of, feed Breeze early and often, I think we'll be in good shape. In terms of our defense, all we really have to do if we want to win this game is stop the run. I mean, their run game is pretty good, but other than that, they ain't got much going for them, Cleveland. So we got to prioritize stopping the run. And I really like what Malachi Moore and AZ Thomas and all these guys have been able to do. They weren't starters at the beginning of the seasons, but they've held up pretty well. And I think, after they get a couple more games under their belt, they'll be pretty solid NFL players. So, I mean, if Aaron Glenn's a good coach, man, this was my biggest problem against Robert Saleh. Every single time we came off a bye week, extended period of time off, whatever it was, he had time to game plan. We came out flat. So I want to see this team come out ready to roll. I'm going to the game as I go to all the home games. And this is my last one because they try to raise my season tickets. So I decided I'm not renewing unless we win against Cleveland. If we win against Cleveland, then they might have me back. But if we lose, I'm done. What?
That is one of the dumbest things that I've ever heard. So you're basing
Why?
whether or not you're going to renew your season tickets on if the Jets can win a game against the Browns on November 9th?
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why. I go to every game and I tailgate before the game. And when I go there, I have a great time at the tailgate, and then I go to the game, and then the game sucks. I don't
Right.
see wins. So if I get a win this week, it's going to rejuvenate me just the same way.
One win is going to rejuvenate you.
You see how one win rejuvenated you and made you think, okay, maybe Aaron Glenn could possibly be the head coach of this team?
It has certainly not done that. I said at least we could have conversations on improvement and seeing real hope.
Jake, before this win, you were like, yeah, he's done. Fire him at the end of the season. After the win, you were like,
I said, if they finish with the worst, you always do this, and I'm not going to deal with your nonsense. If the Jets finish with the number 1 pick in the draft, I don't think this coaching staff should be back. I think they should clean house and get an offensive-minded coach because they're going to take a quarterback. If they show improvement over these next 9 games, they're not going to fire the coach, and I'm obviously going to be rooting for him and Tanner Engstrand, assuming he's the play caller, to get it right and pick the right quarterback and develop that guy. But I have not changed my tune. I'm just now open to the idea of, hey, they won a game. Let's see if there's improvement rather than having to do 2 straight weeks in between games of this team.
So what's the difference? So what's the difference between you after one game saying, okay, they won a game, let's see if they can keep improving, and me saying, hey, if they win today, that's 2 games they won. That's improvement. I'll renew my season tickets. I want to go to the game. I need any excuse to go. You think I'm going to just...
Why don't you just not renew your season tickets and just buy games on a per game basis, and you'll save money over the course of a year?
For 2 reasons. The main reason is because I sit in a section with a great group of people who I enjoy sitting next to, and I like having the same seat. I've had the same seat for the last 5 years. When was our first season back after COVID? 2021?
21.
Okay, yeah. So for the last, whatever it is, 4 or 5 years, I've had the same seat. So I don't want to go to the game and sit random places. I like sitting where I sit. That's the reason why. But
why don't you just try and buy tickets in that general vicinity?
Because they go for like $300 a game if you try to buy them. Even now that we suck, even for some.
What are they going for right now on Sunday against the Browns?
I think it was 250.
They're gonna over the course of the year. Are you not saving money like everyone else is?
Well, for where I sit, it's kind of not. But believe it or not, I've looked it up. So I mean, I could sit, but you know what's funny though? I can sit in better sections for cheaper. Actually, it's just
I'm saying.
Yeah. But I just enjoy where I sit. That, like, you know, when you get used to something and you get comfortable with something and you've been doing it for, you know, years and years, you kind of hold on to that. Like, you have the bond with the people you sit next to. I have a girl.
What section are you in? Are you in the lower level? Because those are the.
I'm in 220. I'm in 220A. It's like the corner. It's like side corner.
I'm pretty confident if you checked enough of the secondary market sites, you would save money and be able to sit in the general vicinity of where you like to sit. Now, if you want the same exact seats for all those games,
exactly.
God bless. I don't know. I think that's crazy though. I would not, and I'm not letting a win over the Browns determine if I'm going to renew my season tickets or not.
Well, that's you. Me and you are different. I enjoy going to the games. I have a great group of people that I sit next to. There's a lady in my row.
Go to the games. You could still do.
Hold on, let me finish. There's a lady in my row who's been going to the games way longer than me, who I'd like to talk to, and she's been coming for years. There's a guy who sits in front of me. He's been coming for 40 years. He's been sitting in the same seat, not in the same stadium, but it's basically in the same vicinity for however long. And I was talking to him the other day, and I was like, you know, I don't know if I'm doing this next year. I can't keep doing this. He says, look at me. I've been doing it for 40 years. There's some people. Yes, but at the same time, there's some people who we just enjoy going to the game. And I feel like that's how I support my team, right? I spend my money to support this team so the players can get paid. I mean, my little portion doesn't mean that much, but, you know, it makes me feel like I'm a part of the team in some way, going every week. And I don't want them to take that away from me. So I'm looking for any excuse to have hope to renew. Now, you can make fun of me. You can call me stupid, but I'm looking for any excuse. So if they win, then I decided, hey, if we win, I'll renew. If we lose, then I'm done, because there's nothing else to hold on to. Because I feel like we win.
What if they lose to the Browns and then beat the Patriots? Then what?
Well, at that point, it would be too late.
Also,
it would be too late.
220A, row 2, $96, StubHub.
Yeah, That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, maybe you should check before you give the Jets more money for being a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 15
Well,
years.
I checked. When I checked, it wasn't 96 per seat, but that's neither here nor there. This is what I did want to say though. Also, if they beat the Patriots, they're beating the Patriots in New England, so I won't be there to watch. So it won't have as much of a like pull on my heartstrings as
So they
you
need
know.
to win the game. So by your logic, if they beat the Browns, you're renewing your tickets. But if they then get embarrassed by the Patriots, that's okay because they beat the Browns.
No, because here's the thing. As soon as they beat the Browns, I'm going to be on such an emotional high that I'm going to go renew. But if they lose, I'm going to
God,
be on
Woody Johnson loves you. You're his favorite customer ever. Oh my God.
Listen, you know what's funny though? You would say he loves me. There's a majority of people who are going to renew, and they feel very similar to me. They're holding on to any reason to have a reason to keep coming.
There's no reason right now. That's the point. And you could just get tickets on a per game basis. And then guess what? It's not like you're going to be on this long waiting list to get your season tickets back. I can't find
There's
people
no-
to take tickets off my hands to these games.
There's no waiting list. It's just the convenience of knowing officially entered talking out of his ass. How am I talking out of my ass? Somebody explain to me how I'm saying that I want my team to win so much and I like going to the games and all I'm looking for is an excuse to renew. And if they beat the Browns, that's my excuse to renew. How's that talking out of my ass? I want my team to win. I want a reason so I can keep coming next year. If they win against New England, I won't be there. So it's not going to pull on my heartstrings as much as it would as if I'm there in person. I don't know what to tell you guys, right? You guys can do whatever you want with your life and with your fandom. For the entirety of me fucking calling into the show, you guys always say that I'm a negative fan. I'm being positive. And now it makes no sense. Good. I don't make any sense. Do you think I care? This is Aaron Glenn's final chance, in my opinion.
So if they lose to the Browns, you're not renewing. That's it.
Yeah, if they lose to the Browns, I'm not renewing. And
But if
I don't
they
see
beat the Browns, you are renewing. That's what it comes down to.
That's what it comes down to.
Ladies
Now,
and gentlemen,
here's-
the stakes for this game have just significantly increased. JJ's season tickets are now on the line.
let me tell you this, right? I've had some very core memories going to Jets games, and I enjoy it so much. So I want any reason to keep coming back. Do I think there's any type of possibility that we lose to the Browns and then we beat the Patriots? Absolutely not. So I'm entertaining your hypothetical, but I don't think that's a possibility. Just like I don't think there's a possibility for us to win 8 games. If there's no way we're going to win 8 games and Aaron Glenn gets to keep his job. I mean, if we lose to the Browns, will we win another game for the rest of the season?
Probably.
Hopefully, we can hope, but I mean, it's the Browns we're talking about. We're talking about the Cleveland Browns, who
Like just beat
regress.
the Bengals, though. Like there's going to be some wins they'll get. They still have a game with the Saints. They could play the Bills when they're playing for nothing in the last week of the year. They're playing Miami at home. Like they're not going to finish with one win.
I mean, from your lips to God's ears. Oh, and then Black Gypsy made a horrible point earlier. I mean, Black Gypsy kills me every time he says anything. And that's all I got to say to him in response to what he said.
He says, "What you do makes you happy, bro. It's illogical, but I feel you."
Oh, never mind.
Also, can you name 15 better wide receivers than Garrett Wilson? Because I don't think you can.
Yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigma, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson. What's this guy's name? How am I drawing? Jamar Chase, Zay Flowers, Rashid Rice. How many? Zay Flowers isn't better than Garrett Wilson?
I don't believe he is.
All right.
I don't think Rashid Rice is either.
Okay. I'll just stop there then. We will agree to disagree.
JJ, all the love.
Thank you.
Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets!
Good morning. We're on mandatory recess. And now, back to the Jay Gasman Show. Ooh. What's the magic? What's that smell? Yes, I did shave. I look like a human monster. Look at the monster. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. Not even worthy. Now, back to the show.
Pew, pew, pew. Abracadoodle.
JJ putting his tickets on the line, huh? I don't know about that one. That's pretty risky there, son.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you for the time, Beast. Glad you shaved. Hit the like button. Open phone lines if you want in on the conversation. Let me shout out Jess. She is in the raffle coming up for 5. Let's go, Jess. Nate says, JJ, can you lock me in for 2 tickets to training camp next year, please? By the way, Garrett Wilson is definitely one of the 15 best receivers in the NFL. So I completely disagree with JJ. I think Garrett Wilson is like probably in the 10 to 12 range, you could argue. Like, he's awesome, man. He's having his best year, too. And look at what this offense is and the lack of anyone that could take the attention of the defense besides him. So that to me is crazy. Once again, if JJ wants to renew his tickets, that's fine. I think basing it on the result of the 1-7 Jets versus the 2-6 Browns is insane. How about you base it on how the team looks over the next 9 games? Is there real improvement that you're seeing? Do you feel better about this coach overseeing a number 1 pick at quarterback? Right? Like that to me would factor in whether or not I would renew for my season tickets. I also would want to see how they look in the offseason. There's no rush to renew your season tickets. The Jets are desperate. They need you. You can just wait till the summer if you want to get your season tickets. See how the offseason looks. Do you like what they did in the draft? Do you like the free agent signings? They're going to spend money. Shake and Bake says, Jake, what would you do if the Jets finished 9-8 or 10-7? I would be giddy. Do I see that happening, though? I do not. I do not. What would I do? I don't know. Whatever you want, Shake and Bake. That's pretty much what I would do. Because think about it. They finished 9-8. You mean to tell me they're only going to lose one more? They're going to go 8-1 now in the post-bye? Tommy says the road to 10-7 starts now. Amen. I hope you're right. PBM wrote in, we need to lose to get the best chance of the best quarterback. Give me Trevor Lawrence over Zach Wilson, Fields, Mack, and Trey Lance. Great. So let's use one draft class as a sample. And by the way, Trevor Lawrence is not that good. He's very average. He really is. I'm not that impressed with every time I watch Trevor Lawrence. This completely disproves your argument right here, though, PBM. All right. First quarterback drafted. Who's been the best quarterback? And by the way, it just shows you that quarterback success is not even determined after a year. Because if we were doing the Caleb Williams draft over, wouldn't Drake May now go in front of Jaden Daniels because he's been banged up this year after he played all 17 games last year and went to the NFC title game? Like, we got to give it more than even just a couple years. Because right now, if you were doing a redraft, maybe you would take Drake May number 1. But last year, you were clearly taking Jaden Daniels over it. So, like, things change, man. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. Like, CJ Stroud looked like he was going to be unbelievable. And now, he's been good at times. He did win a playoff game last year, but he hasn't been elite this year. Houston's got a lot of problems with their offense. 2020, Joe Burrow, for sure. That's rare. And there's no Joe Burrow in this draft class. Kyler Murray. I mean, Daniel Jones was the other option that year. There's a debate, I think, even with that one. Although Daniel Jones looked like Giants Daniel Jones yesterday. Because Pittsburgh was able to win a game because the Colts puked all over themselves. They were kind of due for that, like, everything goes wrong kind of game. Every team has that. But, like, look at this here, man. I'm not doing we need the tank to get a quarterback. You need to have the right infrastructure for your quarterback. That includes coaching. Sam Darnold was the right pick. They failed him. It's been proven. Spencer Green says, Jake, let's stop with the would you be comfortable with the regime getting a quarterback? Let's do something. Name the moves the staff made. Compare. The staff has been great with player choice. Gibson, what? Name the moves the staff made. Compare. Spencer, I have no idea what your super chat is referencing here. If they finish with this roster as the worst team in football, I do not think they should get the opportunity to then evaluate and pick a quarterback. I don't really think it's that complicated. I think that's kind of the whole point here. Like, this is not a roster that should finish with 3 wins or less, 2 wins or less, whatever it would take to get the number 1 pick. Flabba says, who would you draft first overall? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm an expert on any of these quarterbacks. I like Mendoza from the few games I've watched of him. I liked Moore from a couple of the games I've watched of him. I like Ty Simpson from Alabama in the couple of games I've watched from him. I'm not a quarterback guru or an expert. Like, we have all offseason for that. And we will do some film with Blewett on some of these guys tomorrow because we'll take advantage of the Jets not playing this week for the film study segment on the show. So it takes time. But any of these guys I think could be successful, but how are they between the ears? Who's the offensive coordinator, the head coach for them? Do they have a good offensive line? Do they have weapons? I mean, right now, just pick someone. I guess I would say Mendoza, but I'm not going to claim to be a Mendoza expert. I like him. I think he's really impressive. I like how he's got like the prototypical size. I think he's a better athlete than people give him credit for when I've watched him. But I don't know. JJ says Google's top wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, comes up at 17. Right. So just Googling who the top wide receivers are determines that you're right. Okay, JJ. Brilliant from you. Love it. I think Garrett Wilson is definitely one of the 15 best receivers in the NFL. And I think if he was ever actually available, some of the players you mentioned, their teams would trade them in 2 seconds to the Jets to get Garrett Wilson. In 2 seconds. All right, let's get to more of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to point.
He's pointing. Garrett Box, I'm pointing at you. Garrett Box, I point at you. Garrett Box, I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. Garrett Box, point at you. I point.
What up, Jake?
Mr. 3D Boxing, how we doing? Are the Nets going to win a game before the Jets win their second game?
Oh God, I don't think so. Jake, it's so bad. Like we knew it was going to be bad. It is way worse. All the rookies suck. They're all useless. They got 3 point guards. Not one of them can handle the ball. They're sending them back down to the G League. They're playing Tyrese Martin and Jalen Wilson all the minutes. Jake, this is worse run organization than the Jets. It's worse. I don't even know how that's possible, but it is. This is. I said 14 wins, and like I sat through the 12-70 season. I'm telling you right now, this team is worse. I don't know if they're going to lose more games because back then everyone played 82 games. Now your superstars play 65. So the Nets might just get wins because other teams are resting. You didn't really do that back in 2009. But this team is worse. This is like one of the worst teams we've ever seen in basketball. I mean that too. It's so bad, Jake. It's Cam Thomas just wants out, right? Thomas wants out. And then, Jake, you cover New York sports for a living. Going into this season, how many guys besides Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. could you name on the Nets roster?
Very few, to be honest with you. They're not trying to win, and they have like all these rookies. I mean, like Claxton and Cam Thomas, like Terrence Mann
sucks. Like Claxton, like we pay him a lot of money.
They're not good. They're awful. I mean, but they're trying to lose. This is what they want.
Look, if they played the rookies every day, and they were playing the rookies 25, 30, 35 minutes a game, and they were losing, okay. But they're playing Jalen Wilson and Tyrese Martin, who are 26 years old, and they're losing.
So the Jets are going to get their second win before the Nets get their first win.
Yeah. The Nets play today, and then the schedule. They got Minnesota at home, but it's back-to-back. They're going to lose today. Like, then it gets tough again. Like, Jake, it's hard to find the wins on the Nets schedule. It's that bad. Like, it's really, really bad. They let up 130 points a game. 130. It's statistically through how many 6 games, whatever it is, the worst team defensively ever. Shout out to my Brooklyn Nets. I wanted to touch on a couple of things. I had like 3 things. Get off the Nets for a second. I didn't watch the game last week, and I came up with this hypothetical. I would say yes, but here's the hypothetical. Since the last 2 times I didn't watch a Jet game, they won both games. Last week, the last game they played, and remember the game where they played Houston and they beat them 30-0, and they scored all the points in the second half?
I do.
A couple of years ago with Zach Wilson. Okay. I was flying back from San Francisco. I went to the Devin Haney Regis Prograis fight that weekend. And I got to the airport, and it was 0-0 at halftime. I said, I'm not watching this game. I'm not sitting through this. And then they won 30-0. So Zach Wilson's greatest moment, I didn't see any of it. And then this past week, I just protested the game. I said, I'm not watching another game until Aaron Glenn gets fired. But here's my proposition. The Jets win every game, but you can't watch a single one of them. Would you take that? They win 10 in a row and they win Super Bowl, but you can't
Can I
watch.
listen on radio and follow from my phone?
You can follow from your phone. Listening to your radio is yes, you can listen on your radio. You can't watch it. They win every game and they win Super Bowl, but you can't watch a single play.
But I could like follow along and like check Twitter for the highlights after like scoring plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that if it meant the Jets won every game. I mean, I would take one for the team, for the fans, for the Asmaniacs.
I would too. Shout out to y'all. Y'all deserve it. I would do it. They're 2-0 in games I haven't watched over the last 3-4 years. And how many have they won of the games I've watched? Not many is the answer.
A couple things for you. Multiple people asking for your thoughts on Spencer Rattler, Peter Castro, and Black Gypsy among 2 of them.
I think Rattler's excellent. I would trade for him right now. There's a lot of teams that are interested in trading for him. I would make that move for him right now. I don't really like you said. You guys like Mendoza. I look at Mendoza. I don't mean this to be insulting. The same way I looked at Mac Jones when people like Mac Jones coming out. He's okay. Like, if you ever think he's going to be anything more than middling, like, there's nothing special about him. He's okay. I don't think he's going to suck. I don't think he's going to be terrible. But is this the guy you want to take number 1 overall? I don't think so. But yeah, I would move for Rattler right now. Now that we're on quarterbacks, I wanted to actually ask you something. 8 months ago, I said I wouldn't take Jaden Daniels because he's going to be banged up and injured all the time. I wouldn't take him in the first round. How did that age?
I mean, he's hurt this year, but he had the greatest rookie season we've ever seen a year ago. So are we now?
First year, I said he's going to get banged up and he's going to get injured, and I wouldn't take him in the first.
He might. I mean, Lamar Jackson though had 2 straight years where he couldn't finish the year starting, and then he's since gone out there and has been great again. So I don't think this means that Jaden Daniels is now RG3. I think we got to wait. I still would take him in the first round and not think twice about it. I'll bet on the talent.
Okay. I would never question. Like I said, I love Chad Pennington, right? Like, I would take a bullet for Chad Pennington. if you had to do over again, because he was injured all the time, you really couldn't take him in the first round again. I'm not saying he wasn't good. He's the best quarterback we've had since Joe Namath, probably. You can't take him again in the first round because you can't rely on him. And Jaden Daniels is going to be the same way. It's not a question of his talent or his ability, but taking him in the first round and then having a question mark at quarterback every week because of injuries is no way to go about your franchise.
Yeah, but if you have that guy and the years he does stay healthy, you win. Like, it's not perfect. Also, Hennessy says, you said Rattler was great and he got benched.
Okay.
Peter Castro says Rattler sucks.
Rattler, see, this is like this is why I feel for my boy Matthew Smith in the chat, because he loves Cam Ward the way that I love Spencer Rattler. If you watch Cam Ward and Spencer Rattler and you think they suck, you don't know what you're looking at. I understand why they got benched. They're 1-8. Why not play the other guy? I understand.
I actually agree with you that I don't think Rattler was their biggest issue with their record. And I understood why they benched him, because they used the second round pick on Shuck. And you got to find out before you go back to the quarterback well, as they're sitting there now with the first pick. But I don't think Rattler's a franchise quarterback like you do.
Okay. Like, I mean, he's going to go he's going to start again. Like I said, he's a starting quarterback. 1 to 32, he's on that list. So he's going to go somewhere else. There's already 3 teams interested in trading for him. And if I were the Jets, if I give you a second, would they do that?
If who gave you a second?
If anybody gave you a second, would
for Rattler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then do it. Make the trade.
If the Saints got a second for Spencer Rattler, they would trade him in 2 seconds. No one's going to give them a second for Spencer Rattler.
Where did they draft Shuck in the second? You think? I mean, look, Shuck is what that's a second round pick.
Yeah, I understand that.
I mean, okay, like typically you don't expect to draft a franchise changing quarterback in the second round. You might get a decent quarterback, you might get somebody good, but like that quarterback you take in the second round is not really going to be better than Spencer Rattler. Like if we take a quarterback in the second round, the odds of him being better than Spencer Rattler is less than 50-50. So why not just take Spencer Rattler, who's still only 24, 25, whatever he is?
Because teams don't want to give away a second round pick for a quarterback who's not a franchise QB.
I still disagree. Okay, so we just disagree on the
if any team thought Spencer Rattler was worth that and the Saints got that, I think they would trade him in a second. Because if the Saints thought that they had their guy, they wouldn't be benching him to play Shuck right now. They'd say, let's give Rattler all the reps and build around him in the offseason. They benched him because they've already determined he's not their long-term answer. They invested in Shuck. Let's find out what he is. Remember, Shuck was drafted by a different GM and coaching, or same GM, but it was drafted by a different coach, and Kellen Moore kind of runs the show there, from my understanding, as far as like being an offensive guy. Like he wasn't there when they took Rattler. He inherited Rattler. So now he's going to give Shuck, who they did pick in the second round, a chance before they go back to the draft and probably take another quarterback in the top 3.
No, and like I said, they'll go back to Rattler before the season. It's the same thing with Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle. Like, okay, I understand why they played Boyle. I'm not defending Zach Wilson, but like, look, Tim Boyle's not better than anybody. So you were eventually going to go back to Zach Wilson anyway. I think that they rolled the dice with Boyle. It was like the Brooklyn Nets. It was somehow worse than you even expected. You expected nothing.
Black Gypsy wants to fight you because of this take.
All right, we can fight. I mean, I like Black Gypsy. I do. I sincerely like Black Gypsy. If he wants to fight, we can fight. That's fine. I like him. I like Black Gypsy.
Would you take a bullet for Spencer Rattler?
Oh, the guys I would take a bullet for are Vince Young, Colt McCoy, Sam Ellinger, Chad Pennington, Curtis Martin. That's the list. That's the entire list. Besides my family and friends, like football players. That's the entire list.
Nate wrote in that this is why you're only our QB scout and not a GM.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I don't even take that as, I don't know if that was intended as an insult, but
would you rather have Spencer Rattler or Jaden Daniels?
Well, since Jaden Daniels is out for the season, I think that's an obvious question. I would take Spencer Rattler.
I'm saying they're both healthy. We're going into next year. And Jaden Daniels, by the way, is not officially out for the year. They're saying it might not be season ending, but whatever.
Okay,
their season is.
That looked awful. Did you see that? Looked terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, horrible.
Good for him. Shout out.
Let's say we're going into next year. You could have either quarterback. Do you want Jaden Daniels or do you want Spencer Rattler? Who would you rather take?
I moved when we had the draft class. I said Drake May 1, Spencer Rattler 2, Jaden Daniels 3. And then I said I was wrong. Jaden Daniels 2, Spencer Rattler 3. Okay, I was wrong. That was the only thing I got wrong there, right? I would if you're guaranteeing me health, if you're saying both guys are going to be healthy, yes, I'm taking Jaden Daniels. Are we guaranteeing health, or am I playing with a banged up Jaden Daniels?
No, I mean he might be healthy like he was his rookie year, where he started 17 games, or he might get injured like anyone else. But like you're taking, you're starting a team. Are you taking Jaden Daniels, knowing what you know about him, or Spencer Rattler? I want to see how crazy your mind is.
It's not crazy because this is the same thing as
it is because
Cam
Rattler
Ward.
hasn't
Cam
proven
Ward is
anything.
good. Rattler. No, all right. If I needed to win a game tomorrow, and they're both healthy, obviously I'm taking Jaden Daniels. But that's not the question, really. The question is, am I going to take?
No, you're starting a team. You're a GM. You're evaluating. You could have either quarterback. Are you banking? You going to just roll the dice and hope Jaden Daniels can be healthy, or do you believe in Spencer Rattler so much?
I believe in Spencer Rattler that much. I believe in Spencer Rattler. I think Jaden Daniels is better, but because of the injuries, I got to go with the guy I think is going to actually get on the field.
So all things being equal, you would actually take Rattler over Daniels.
Rattler. That's how much I believe in Spencer Rattler. Shout out.
Peter Castro says definitely on crack or dope. Are you on either?
No, I live clean. I live sober. See, this is the thoughts of a sober mind. You guys live in a world where you're intoxicated with intoxicants. And so a sober mind seems weird to you. Okay. This is why I feel for Matthew Smith in the chat, because I watched Cam Ward last week. He's pretty good. Like Cam Ward, he's on a terrible team. If you think Cam Ward's the problem, like you're bugging. Cam Ward's pretty good. It's like if the Jets take a quarterback, he's going to suck because it's organizational, right? It's like Daniel Jones was terrible, right? Actually, he's pretty good. Sam Darnold was terrible, right? Actually, he's really good. You know what I'm saying? If you put a good quarterback in a bad organization, he's going to look bad. It's like judging a fish by how he can, climb a tree. It's like we need to put him in a situation where he can thrive here.
Great question in the chat. Paul originally asked it. Rattler or Jackson Dart?
I do like both these quarterbacks. I was a big Jackson Dart fan, as you guys know, but Rattler. My answer to outside of the elite quarterbacks, the top 10 quarterbacks in the league,
you would take Spencer Rattler over Jackson Dart?
Yes. I like Dart too. It's not a knock on Dart. If I could trade my pick this year for Dart, I would make that. If the Giants said, "I'll give you Dart, you give me your first round pick," I'd make that trade.
Oh my God. Mike says a narcissist can never be wrong. Did you see Gary struggling to say Rattler is shit?
Rattler, I don't believe that. I don't believe, because I disagree with you. This is like the low IQ retards that I just.
Whoa.
Another one, another brilliant, another mental genius. Yes, the guys have never watched Spencer Rattler play because all you do is box score watch, right?
Peter Castro says you've lost.
What's Spencer Rattler's career record? Like you want?
What's his career record? I can look it up for you.
It's not good. He's got 1 win, 2 wins. It's not good.
Spencer Rattler in his NFL career is 1-13.
And what's
12 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 2,903 yards, 63% completion percentage. This year he was 1-7, 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 68% completion, almost 1,600 yards passing.
And what's Dart? That was the comp.
Jackson Dart is.
He's only played 1 season.
He is 2-4 as a starter, 62% completions, 1,100 yards, almost 1,200 yards passing, 10 touchdowns versus 3 picks. I didn't look up Rattler's rushing stats, but Dart makes plays every week with his legs. So let's see. Dart on the year has 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 5 rushing touchdowns to go with 10 passing touchdowons.
That sounds good for him.
I mean, he's played well. He played well yesterday. The Giants are just stink. They're gonna have a new head coach,
right? But like my point is, you're taking a quarterback and a terrible. The Saints have the worst roster. They're the Jets they're the Nets of the NFL. Like their roster is by far the worst. And like, well, the quarterback's not winning games. Of course he's not. Look at the team he's playing on. Like, of course he's not winning games. Like, you could put Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers on the Saints. They ain't gonna win. Like, do you see how bad that team
Paul
is?
says Rattler has better weapons than Dart. Dart's throwing to Gary. That is true. Without Scatterbo and Neighbors, they really have nothing.
And neither do the Saints. But that's a fair point. That's a good point. That's the first good point that anyone's made so far. I don't even know who this is. Fiero Talk. Shout out to
Mike
him.
says if Rattler was so great, why is his butt on the pine?
Did I say he was great? I said I would have taken him number 2 in the draft class. I don't like, is that, but this is just like the low IQ people who've never watched him play coming after me. It's like, I don't really care what you have to say. Like, you don't have anything.
How do you know they're
intelligent.
low IQ?
Because if they were smart, they would make an argument, not just ask questions. They would make an argument. They don't have the ability to articulate an argument because that's indicative of low IQ, right? And if they had any balls, they would come on like Black Gypsy does, and they'd actually debate me. So they're low IQ and they lack balls, and then they want me to take them seriously. I'm not gonna. Like, I'm not gonna. Black
Matthew
Gypsy, shout out
Smith
to Black
writes in,
Gypsy.
Cam Ward is a top
Shout out.
quarterback right now, top 10 quarterback. His wide receivers have the highest drop percentage in the league. He has no head coach and elite arm talent. We'd be 4-4 with him.
Cam Ward's good. Like, I don't want to, like, he doesn't suck. If you guys think Cam Ward sucks, you're way off. Cam Ward's good. It's just his team is terrible. I don't know how you'd expect.
Matthias says you would take Rattler over Dart. LMAO.
Oh, that's a brilliant argument, Matthias. It's just like no one can actually articulate why I'm wrong. They can like just look at box scores because they're not intelligent, right? Like, it doesn't take an intelligent person to look at a box score. It takes an intelligent person to articulate an argument and assess a quarterback. They can't do that.
John says that you have such low IQ, you think it's high because of your low IQ.
Okay. I haven't mentioned what my IQ is on the show, so I mean that's just your own.
I think you have
failures.
actually. Didn't you say it's 140?
No, I did not. See, I didn't see. So that's just his failures as a man, right? Like he's making up for his own
Boomtown, check the
failures to come
receipts. I'm
after
pretty
me.
sure Gary has mentioned his IQ before.
Did someone ask me what my IQ was? If I may have answered the question, but I never said 140. I never, because I know what it is. It's not 140. 140 is super duper high.
This guy is flailing his arms. He wants in on the conversation. Jordan, what do you got for us?
What's up, Gary? I know I don't know you, but you sound pretty dumb, bro.
Cool.
Spencer Rattler does not do anything to equate to winning as a quarterback. He can make some good throws, but that's about it.
All right, what do you not like about
that
what do
you
you
would
not
trade a second-round pick for?
What do you not like about his tape?
I can't hear nothing you're saying.
You can't hear me? Jake could hear me. It might be your.
Jordan,
it might be.
Do you not hear Gary? Do you hear me? We can't hear you at all. Call back, Jordan.
That could have been fun. That could have been fun.
All right. Look, you insulted a lot of my callers when you said the only people that call in have low IQ. So I'm going to prove
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said Yo Holmes and Michael DeMauro are low IQ and can't articulate an argument, which is demonstrably true. And then I shouted out Jordan, who called in, and Black Gypsy, who I like. Black Gypsy. I like debating Black Gypsy on anything because I think he's an intelligent guy with the balls to articulate his position, even if I disagree with it.
John says that you did say it was 130.
Yeah, it's 132. Okay. So I didn't come on and advertise that. Did someone ask me what my IQ was? I answered the question, but it wasn't 140.
Well, there's a guy on the line who just messaged me privately that his IQ is 140. So let the debate begin.
Very, very bad. Very, very bad. I don't know who's worse, the Brooklyn Nets or this guy with his cornrows looking like Cornhead from the movie. What is it? Coneheads.
I look like Conehead with cornrows. They didn't have cornrows. They had big pointy heads and they were bald. Shout out to Coneheads though. That was a great skit turned into a movie. It was a Saturday Night Live skit that they made into a movie. Shout out. Both were great.
What I see here is let's really play the numbers, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Next year we're gonna have to spend a lot of money because let's look at the numbers. Clemens is gonna be gone, and Gary doesn't know what to do on money situation. I know how to invest when it comes to operation. See, this is why you take 10 out. $10 billion out, you go get new guys, and you get new guys with balls, brains, charisma, speed, agility, finesse, and also there's almost one more thing that to add: testicular fortitude. That is what brings it all to the dance.
I agree. You need both. You need to have the intelligence and the balls. One without the other is useless. Think about it.
Ding dong! Ding dong! And knowing me, I've had ding dongs and ho hos and Twinkies back in
Calm
my
your
day.
freaky down.
That ding dongs and ho hos. Which one did you like more? Would you like the ding dongs or the ho hos more?
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
I was more of a ding dong guy. I love ding dongs.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that, but I that's not a shock.
Calm your freaky down.
The ho hos more than the ding dongs, but you like the ding dongs better? All right.
Yeah, they were more tasty. And plus, I'm not gonna worry about that because let's look at it this way: we're gonna keep Brees. We're not getting rid of the Williams brothers. No, Clemens has to go. Tony Adams has to go, and two other guys that there's a few others I can't. I'll find a few that don't add up, but I do want to see.
All right, let's bring out a real Rumble challenger. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to say hello to this guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Hey,
Yeah,
dude, what up?
yeah.
I sincerely, I know we go back and forth. I do like you and I respect your intelligence. I respect you as a man.
I like you too, Gary. Just some of the shit you say is insane. All right, so
That's
something
fine.
that you say that you need to stop saying, right? If you disagree with someone, stop saying they're low IQ, bro, because it's a dirty shot. Why take a dirty shot? Explain why it is you think the way you think without taking it so far. Because
Let me interrupt real quick. Let me interrupt because you asked me. Let me interrupt that. They take shots at me. They call me idiot, stupid, all types of names. I point out that calling names is a low IQ tactic. It's a tactic used by people who can't articulate an argument. That's just evidently true, right? That's just.
But you do the same thing, so you're not better than the people that you're making fun of.
All I do is counter punch. I just match your energy. You come on, you have a respectful conversation with me. I have a respectful conversation with you. You're gonna start standing in the center of the ring, trading low blows with me. I'm gonna beat you at that too, right? Like I don't do that to you. I don't sit there and call you names.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of you starting it where no one fuck with you.
All right.
You call Jake a pussy, right?
All right. I apologize. That was not nice of me to say. I apologize. You're right. You're right. That was not nice of me. I didn't mean anything by it. I was just breaking down the fight. I didn't mean anything by it. I really didn't. In retrospect, I apologize for that. I shouldn't have said that out loud, even if I think it's true.
So the same thing goes for the comments, because when you come on here, you rile people up with some of your takes, whether your takes are wrong.
I apologize to Jake. I admitted I was wrong. That was not a polite thing to say. Do they apologize for it? If they apologize, bygones are bygones. Christ says, if you want to be forgiven, you must forgive those, right?
Yeah, but you stay in it though.
Immediately. What was that?
You stay in it. Like once you know what it is. Once you get triggered, you're automatically triggered, and you just react.
My fight mode goes off. Yeah, I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
That's what I do. You want to fight? I'll fight. Let's do it.
You're now boxing. You're articulating your points. It's not the same. It's not a fight. You're trying to say which.
I whether it's a physical fight or like a mental fight, I love being in a fight. Like it's something that kicks the adrenaline. I like to argue with people, right?
Yeah, you like fighting.
Yeah, I love to fight. Yeah, no matter what kind of fight it is, I love to be in a fight. 100%.
That's why I put in the chat. We should fight. Just talk shit to you every time you do it. Because I could fight. I boxed when I was younger too, and I do UFC. So you know what I mean, I boxed for 3 years.
You got the grain to be, but you look young. How old are you? My age?
I'm 48.
Oh, you're looking older than me. Okay, you look good. I couldn't tell.
Old ass grown man.
Yeah.
So look, just advice, because your takes are insane. Rattler is not good. Rattler is not good. Like he's not good. He's not good.
I could not disagree more.
So here, all right. So let me ask you a question: Drake May or Spencer Rattler?
Drake May. I don't love him anymore, but I love his talent. I've always had Drake May as number one.
That's the difference. One has talent, one doesn't. Rattler has been playing for a while, and he's not good, bro. Drake May has 2 years playing, and he's better. His stats are better. His winning percentage is better. Overall, better player. So
Drake May was my number one in that class. Drake May was 1. Rattler was 2. Jaden Daniel was 3. And the only thing I would switch there are 2 and 3. Other than that, I keep the draft class the same. I take him over Caleb. I take him over Bo Nix. I take him over Michael Penix and JJ McCarthy.
So stop being a douche. When someone says something to you, it's the chat. The chat is going to do something because you say shit that's just outrageous sometimes, they're gonna have those reactions to it. So you then going on that oh, you guys are stupid or you're low IQ, you set yourself up because at the same time you're doing that, you're doing what you're telling the people not to do. So I mean, if you come on and instigate, then just laugh about the instigation because you're instigating. You're making people want to fuck with you.
I apologize to Jake. That was sincerely wrong. I shouldn't say those things out loud. It was uncalled for. It was unsolicited. No one asked me what I thought about Jake's fighting ability, right? I gave that unsolicited, and that's not a polite thing to do, right? Like, if there's an ugly girl in the supermarket, you don't go up to her and tell her she's ugly. It's not a polite thing to do, right? And so, but my point is, all I do is counterpunch. You should never start a fight. You should finish every one of them, and you should fight until the death if need be. And I stand by that. Don't start a fight, but if someone starts a fight with you, you should fight to the death.
Yeah, but it's not a fight. It's a difference of opinion. I mean,
telling me I think Gary is an idiot is not a difference of opinion. You're just coming after me, right? So
but some of the shit you say is idiotic, though. Like, you have to admit it. Like,
explain to me why they're idiotic. Explain to me. Gary's an idiot. That's just ad hominem.
Yeah, we try to, Gary, and you're like, nah, fuck that. You're low IQ. Like, if you say some shit and we're like, Gary, that's not like it's not that the group is right. It's some of the shit that you say is just wrong. So people are gonna have reactions.
Explain to me what I've gotten wrong, right? Like, you do it all the time. I don't agree with you, but you come in on all football, women's right, all types of things. You come on and tell me what you think I've gotten wrong, and I tell you what I think you've gotten wrong, and we have a cool conversation.
Yeah, because I'm not taking shots at you. I'm making what I do is I make fun of you.
That's fine.
I'll make fun of the shit that you say because to me, some of the you're a live action troll. Like, you come on just to say shit that you know is gonna piss people off, and then when they get pissed off, you're like, what? And then you go into that bag. Just be nice, bro. Because at the end of the day, I think it's gonna annoy you more than it's gonna annoy the chat.
I don't get annoyed. I like to get amped up. I like to get chippy. I like to be in a fight, right? Like, you're
just coming on a troll then. You're just coming on a troll.
It's not trolling. No, everything trolling to me, and you can tell me if I'm definitionally wrong, right? Maybe I am. Trolling is saying something you don't think is accurate or true to get a reaction.
Spencer Rattler is not good. That's trolling, bro.
I don't agree with you on that. I don't agree with you on that. Like, the same thing. You can make the same argument about Cam Ward. Have you watched Cam Ward?
I haven't watched any of Cam Ward, so I don't really know shit about it.
Like, Cam Ward.
I've seen some New Orleans games. Like, he can't read a defense, and he's been in the league for quite some time to not be able to read a defense. So like, that's my automatic. Like, you're done. If you can't read a defense as a quarterback that's played a season already, you're not a good quarterback, bro.
How's his pocket presence?
His pocket presence isn't good.
Are you sure we're talking about the same quarterback?
Yo, he threw a touchdown interception right off the edge when there was people open ahead of it. That clip has been shown so many times. In the end zone, he threw an interception. It was a horrible pass.
I know the play. I'm fully aware of the play that you're talking about. Okay, I can do this with most quarterbacks. You can find a play on most quarterbacks that looks horrible, right? Like, when you break down,
but he does it weekly. He's weekly bad.
One play. I know the play you're talking about. I'm aware of the play you're talking about.
He's not good.
He doesn't do it weekly.
Just say he's not good, bro.
I don't agree with you. I think he's very good. I think he's very good.
Say you like him and say he's not good. You can like a player, not be. I like Fields. As a player. I like Fields. Is he a good quarterback? No, he is garbage as a quarterback.
I like Fields too. I like him as a person and I like him as a player. He just hasn't panned out. I'm with you on Fields. I don't agree with you on Rattler though. If the Jets could get Rattler right now, I would trade for him.
You're insane. Stop saying that low IQ shit because a lot of people in the chat could be higher IQ than you, and you just saying that is like
a lot of them could be. Yo Holmes and Michael DeMaro aren't two of them. There could be a lot of people. Statistically, it's only going to be about 2% of people, but Michael DeMaro and Yo Holmes aren't two of them.
I'm sorry, Conehead Gary is hilarious story. I see that. I find you amusing, Gary. I have no hate against you. Just some of the shit you say is insane, bro. Just be like, yo, I said some insane shit. And you know what thing I like about JJ is JJ will say insane shit and be like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. That's what I feel. I'm standing in it. So if you say that, just say that. Say you're saying some insane shit, but that's just how you feel and you're going to stand in it. Don't tell us that we're all stupid for calling what you say insane if it's insane.
I don't think anything I said is like Jake said me not wanting to take Jaden Daniels in the first round because he's an injury concern. It was insane.
It was insane though, because how many quarterbacks get hurt in the league? That's a part of the game. They're gonna get hurt.
It's the same thing. Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow. You can't really take Joe Burrow anymore. Chad Pennington. That was on the list of guys I take a bullet
I would
for.
never
You can't take Pennington in the first round again.
I'm still taking Chad Pennington because Chad Pennington was dope, bro. If he didn't get hurt, that's an if. I'm not going to play the if game.
It was over and over and over again.
Yeah,
I
but
love
players
Chad
get hurt.
We did this yesterday on Bobby's show. Do you know that Mark Sanchez won more games as a quarterback than Chad Pennington?
Yeah, of course he did. Mark Sanchez was successful. So look, we can't play the woulda, coulda, shoulda game. It's already done. So just live in the actual thing that's going on. It's the thing with the fans that annoys me. It's like AG is going to do this. AG is going to do that. The team's going to do this. What we're factually living through is something different. So we have to live in the facts. The woulda and coulda don't matter. I woulda, coulda, shoulda been. That's nonsense, bro. Either way, Gary. Just be nicer to the chat back because you set yourself up for people to want to talk shit to you. And I guess it's part of your personality. If you're a fighter, you just want to fight all the time. So you just say shit to get people to fight with you, which is what I'm thinking. I consider you a troll. I consider you a video calling troll.
Here's what I would say. You can call me a troll, but as long as that troll believes what he's saying, I don't say anything I don't believe is true. Now, do I call things that I think are going to incite people? Yes. Do I believe what I'm saying? Absolutely.
Go ahead, Joe. You take the place.
Gary, think about this. I can hear you guys.
Cool.
Think about this. Spencer Rattler has 1 win and 2 seasons as a starting quarterback, where the Jets have 6 wins in 2 seasons of being ass. So why would you want to trade a second-round pick for a quarterback that can't win to a losing organization?
Let me address that, right? You would agree with me when I say the Jets are going to take a quarterback in the first 2 rounds of this draft, correct? You would agree with me on that? Spencer Rattler's better than that guy they're going to draft.
Brings nothing to the table. When that team runs out on Sunday, they don't think, hey, we have a chance to win every week because Spencer Rattler's
You don't know what they think. You don't know what they think in the locker room. But to answer your question, why would I trade a second-round pick for Spencer Rattler? My answer is, I just want to be clear, is because the Jets are going to take a quarterback in the first 2 rounds. That guy that they draft in the first 2 rounds isn't as good as Spencer Rattler. That's why I would trade this pick for Spencer Rattler.
It's just not smart to even think that Spencer Rattler would bring any type of winning attributes or mentality to this team when he can't even win himself. He didn't even win in college.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
All right, I can't do the Rattler conversation anymore. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Black Gypsy. Thank you to Jordan. Let's get to actual Jet breaking news here before we get to the raffle. So last chance to enter. Aaron Glenn speaking for the first time this week says Garrett Wilson will participate in practice. Let's be real. Garrett's going to be back, barring a setback. I think he's going to play Sunday. And then we're doing quarterback mystery again. Glenn not acknowledging, not naming who the starter is. Said, quote, I'm not going to give you that answer. I'm going to keep that close to the vest. It has to be Fields, right? You can't go to Tyrod after Fields just played great. You got to at least see if Fields has been your guy all year, could build on it. Do I think he will? Probably not, because the Bengals defense is horrific and the Browns have a good defense. So I think the Jets offense is going to struggle Sunday. Doesn't mean they can't win, but Tyrod is expected to practice this week. That's good, because I think the leash with Fields should be short. If he has another horrific first half, Tyrod should be coming in. But we're back to quarterback mystery this week, baby. We don't know who the quarterback will be. We just know there'll be a quarterback. Jet football. All right, one last call, and then we'll get to the raffle. If you want a chance to win a Jets jersey, last chance to enter. Mangold, Revis, Crevette, Martin, Klecko, Namath are your choices. Let me shout out John LG, who gifted a membership he's in. Bino wrote in, whether you like Gary or not, he stands his ground. Love him or hate him, you watched. Up next, Cannonball Eric. Close us out, Eric.
Hey, Jake. I just want to say on Gary's take, a reason why it is actually kind of stupid is, not because Spencer Rattler is a good quarterback or a bad quarterback. I don't really watch him. I don't really know. But you could get him for less than a second-round pick. No one in the league is offering a second-round pick. So trading that second-round pick for him is a bad move on its own, he might be better than I think he is. Like Gary said, I actually don't really watch him. I've seen some highlights. I'm not really impressed. I look at the box score, but if you're going to trade a second round for him, that's just a bad move. That's like picking Adrian Smith in the fourth. Like maybe he's going to be a good player for us, but we could have got him later. So, that would be my argument against Gary. Why are you trading a second when you could get him for less?
Yeah, I mean, if they could get a second for him, they would.
They would do it.
They would do it in 2 seconds. I mean, they obviously don't believe in him.
Yeah. So that's my only argument. I wanted to get on with Gary and see how he felt about that, but yeah, that's it for me.
Eric, appreciate you. Good call. Last chance for the raffle. Sean says, I just bought a bootleg Quincy Williams rival jersey and the color coordination's off, but hey, it was $23. Well, if you use those bootleg sites, you got to use the right one. That's key. They will wear those rivalry jerseys on December 7th against the Dolphins. My game's at MetLife, obviously. This one is from Maysby, who wrote, how the heck are the Panthers 5-4? Can you do a quick breakdown of the Jets-Panthers talent? Crazy how they're in the playoff hunt. Yeah, I mean, Dave Canales has done a good job. I don't think Bryce Young is that good. I really don't. They're like winning with him not doing a ton. They could run the ball well. They do have some good playmakers. Their defense has played well at times this year. I mean, to me, the Packers are like the most confusing, like good contending team. Like the NFC feels very wide open right now. The Eagles have the 6-2 record, but they're flawed. We've said they're not as good as they were a year ago. Tampa, Green Bay, Detroit, like Seattle, like there's really no like this team's definitely the best. Like I think it's wide open. Paul says AG versus the media again today, not naming a quarterback. Hey, he's going to play games. I mean, I don't think there's any chance the Browns aren't going to be prepared for Justin Fields, but we're doing the mystery at quarterback again. Aaron Glenn did confirm that Andre Sisco's done for the year, by the way. That was a brutal signing. Aaron Glenn said John Mechie's our kind of guy. Our brand of football we talk about in-house really fits who the player is. I mean, look, I like the Mechie part of the deal with Carter because it's low risk. And if you found something with him, great. Once upon a time, the guy was a second-round pick, so he's super talented. Let's see. Yo Holmes says Gary makes everyone around him seem high IQ by default. Gary, would you like to respond to this?
No, it's not a person I take seriously, right? It's like when your 2-year-old says, "Daddy, I hate you." Oh, what are you gonna like have a come to Jesus moment, right? Because my 2-year-old said he hates me because I said he can't have any cookies. I'm just not gonna take it seriously. Like that's how you should look at these people. Like the raging 2-year-old having a conniption in the toy section of a store because mommy said, no, you can't have any toys. Like, I'm not going to take him seriously.
I see.
If you saw a 2-year-old throwing a fit because mommy said you can't have a toy truck and the 2-year-old's having a fit, are you going to take that 2-year-old seriously? Well, maybe he has a good point here. Like maybe we should consider buying him a truck now, right? Like that's Joe Holmes. Like just.
I met Yo Holmes. Nice guy.
I guess nice is subjective, right? I mean, I guess some people would say that about Hannibal Lecter, a nice guy. I don't know.
You think Yo Holmes is a serial murderer?
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, right? Who knows? People have things. That's why I said go hire the private eye to go find the dark side on Woody. Everyone's got a dark side. Go find Woody's dark side so we can get him replaced as
Big
owner.
Fella says never knew the beef between Yo Holmes and Gary.
I don't have a beef with them because I don't take them seriously.
Yo Holmes says Gary, the mentally ill, punch-drunk man talking low IQ, is pure narcissism wrapped in irony.
It would be irony if that were true. It would be irony, but he doesn't know what narcissism is because he's not intelligent, right? He uses words he doesn't know because he's low intelligent. It's what it is, right? Like you can sit there and tell me I'm wrong, but is it a high intelligence or a low intelligence trait to use words that you don't understand?
Well, Gary, you said a lot today. Appreciate your
I
time.
appreciate you, Jake. It's good being back on with you. And I apologize for what I said the other day. I shouldn't have said that out loud. That wasn't polite. I do apologize for that.
I'm not offended. Ladies and
All right,
gentlemen,
cool.
Gary. Matt L., the last entrant, or what's the word I'm looking for? The last recipient. I don't even know the word I'm looking to describe. Anyway, he's in the raffle for 5. Spencer Green says, Yo, Holmes, the dollar store troll. Gary, don't sweat. Adam says, what return do you want for Lazard? Anything. 6 for a 7th pick swap is value there. Brandon says, Gary for sure berates his wife all day long. He probably talks down on her like she's a peasant. Yo Holmes responding to Spencer says, Spencer Green, say no to drugs, kids. Indy says, y'all remember who called Gary a narcissist first? Matt L says, I received my Clyde the Glide jersey. Thanks, Jake. The Walt Clyde Frazier jersey. Matt L has received it. Love it. Tomorrow we will give away our 3 signed items in the raffle. Right now, though, we're about to spin the Wheel of Champions and give away a Jets Legends jersey. Only one person can win today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to find out who is your lucky winner.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh, yeah. Wheel of Champions on your screen. If you win, you have to email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, your name, your address, the player you want the jersey in, and the size you want it in. Good luck to everyone. Thanks to everyone who supports these raffles. We'll do another giveaway during our second show with Will Parkinson later this afternoon. But right now, we spin the Wheel of Champions to decide. Good luck to all. Your winner is... Hey, Jess won. I believe this is her first ever raffle win. She finally got it done. Shout out to you, Jess. It was great to meet you at our event in Tampa this year. Give it up for Jess. She just won a Jets jersey, a Legends jersey. Hit it, Lowski. Let's go. Jess, shoot me an email and we'll get it ordered for you this week. Appreciate you. Well deserved. Well deserved by Jess. One of the great members of the 4.5% female audience that we have. Let's go.
Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets!
All right, that's a show. Join the Patreon if you want your name added in the intro. You have till the end of today. It's patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Like the video. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. I want to thank everyone who tuned in. Fun show. We're back this afternoon. I'm going to go listen to what Glenn said. We'll react to some of that, and we'll start talking about the Jets and the Browns. Plus the trade deadlines tomorrow, which means it could be a breaking news show at any point if the Jets make a big move from now and 4 p.m. tomorrow when the deadline is officially underway. On that note, enjoy your day. Go Jets. Gary, you have tremendous IQ, the finest IQ we've ever seen. Go Jets. Can you give us like a boxing tutorial on the show?
So the jab, that's a 1. Right cross.
You think you take Beastbreaker?
I'm pretty sure I could beat Beastbreaker in a fight.
What gives you the confidence?
The physical appearance of Beastbreaker and having been in countless fights.
What do you mean the physical appearance?
He can't get out of bed.
That's not true. He definitely can get out of bed. He's up. Yeah.
That's training 101. Welcome to my classroom, Gary.
Hey, you did get out of bed. Good for you.
Get up, sunshine! Ah! I think it's called fear, son. I think it's called fear.
Yeah. Sit down before you have a heart attack, beast.
That's scary enough to knock one eye out. Come look, you little fuck. I got something for you. Come on down. Who's next? Come on. Who wants a little?
He looks to be in great physical condition.
Yeah, baby.
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. The enemy confronts you, he's the enemy. Just bring it all you got. You're all just a bunch of little babies with no guts.
I mean, I learned a lot there, Gary.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.